Anybody in yet? Anybody in? It's 9 o'clock. Let's just wait for people to. The pub door is open now. Let's see who saunters in. 14 people already. Good evening. Welcome to this special event. Good evening, 14 people. Any regulars, shadow watchers, lovers, haters, museum curators? Mogo, good evening, Mogo. Are you well, Mogo? Peter Boothroyd says, I've lost weight. It's because of all the worry you've caused me with all the comments you make on my channel. That's why I lose weight. You make me ill. Good evening, Peter Boothroyd. We'll wait for a few more people to come in before I bring on the star of the show tonight. Tracy Nicklin, good evening. How many people is going to join us tonight? I'm hoping for 50, 60. We've got a special guest. As all will be revealed. Down to 8 people. Don't worry, Matt backstage. Matt's backstage now. It's like this is showbiz. This is showbiz. Matt's backstage, just waiting. But I'm like kind of going to warm the crowd up, you know. And Daz Williams is in, and then we'll bring him on. He's got a lot of interesting stuff to tell you. So that's coming up for you. Be excited. We've got 20 people in there. Daz Williams, good evening. So I'm in compere mode today. I'm just like some shit fucking compere at some comedy club somewhere, waiting to bring the star turn on. So we've got 20 people watching this shit. I tell you what, I'm going to bring Matt on at 5 past. Come hell or high water. I won't keep him backstage deliberating. Are you all well? Are you ready? Are you ready for this special live stream? Yes, you are. You don't need to fucking say anything because I know you are. You're going to be informed. You're going to be dazzled. You're going to be astounded, basically. And there's a book you can buy. Matt's book. If you're interested in Matt's book, Behind Gym Doors, click on the link below, and you can buy a copy. It exposes the dark side of the gym industry. That's why I never go to gyms. I just stop at home eating Mars bars because of that. But also, Matt, interesting fact about Matt, any of you who remember the podcast we used to do during lockdown, I think there's 38 online, Matt is the gentleman who designed the thumbnails for the podcast. Wow, yeah, I know. Yeah, they're brilliant. He's a man of many talents. You know, he's a graphic designer. Haley Barr, good evening, Haley Barr. Are you well? He's a graphic designer as well, ex-model. He's a reality TV star like I was, but now he's a fitness guru. Not just one of these pricks on TikTok. He's a proper guru. So at 2 minutes time, I'm going to be bringing Matt out. Are you all excited? Say yes, James. That sounds a bit like Paul Daniels then. Are you all well? Are you ready for this? You should be. This is good entertainment. This is better than this shit what's on Amazon Prime. You know, it's not a Cockney straight to DVD gangster film or any of that bullshit what you get on Amazon Prime. It's all it is really. So good evening. 25 people watching this shit. I'm having a drink of coffee. Martin Redding's in. Good evening, Martin Redding. Are you well? Steve Beatty's in. Good evening, Steve Beatty. Good Steve. 1 minute's time, I'm bringing out the maestro, Mr. Matt Hodges, and I want you all to give him a warm welcome, even though it's not a comedy club or a theatre. Imaginary clap, you know, just clapping your houses, that you know, it's fine. You can do that. We've got 25 people in. There'll be more people in. I'm quietly confident we'll get about 70 people in tonight. So I'm happy about that. 1 minute and going. Dave Llewellyn. Good evening, Dave Llewellyn. Are you in? Yes, Dave Llewellyn's in. Quite a few in. I want you all to. No, oh sorry, I've not laid the ground rules down. Right. Me and Matt are going to talk for about an hour. After an hour, you can ask Matt questions on nutrition, whatever. You can just add about his book, any stories, what he's allowed to tell. We're going to be discussing Andrew Tate too. Andrew Tate, the internet kind of a bad boy, top G. We're going to be discussing Andrew Tate. Matt has met him on that. I spoke to him anyway. Without further ado, let's bring on Matt. Hello, Mr. Hodges.
Hello, mate.
Are you okay?
Yeah, man. I'm all good. I'm all good.
Well,
It's Friday night, isn't it? I'm like living in the middle of nowhere, and it's Friday night. I'm not out.
I'm like living in this middle of nowhere too, but I don't know what the fuck I'm going on about. You know, I know I first met you 2007. Kimberly Stewart. We're just going to skate over this. We was on a reality TV show together, living with Kimberly Stewart. Yeah, exactly. I thought
like, who the fuck's Kimberly Stewart? Who?
I thought I was going to be famous. I'm sure you thought you was, and it was a resounding no for both of us. It flopped. It flopped like an old man's penis, and it kind of didn't do anything for either of us. You won the show because can we just talk briefly about this? What did you win for winning the reality TV show?
Oh, mate, what did I win? I won absolutely nothing. Do you remember, Jim, that they basically sold us that premise that we were basically, I think we were meant to be living with Paris Hilton, weren't we? I think she was the first one in. So that was the kind of like hook, you know, and everyone, all us young lads had seen a fucking sex video that she put up. So we were well game to go on that show. Ended up being Kimberly Stewart. And I remember in our casting, when they were casting, they were like, they hadn't told us who she was, did they? And they said, do you know any Rod Stewart songs? I'm like, oh man, I knew nothing. Anyway, look, we got on there, didn't we? But no, look, the premise was that you get to live with whoever it was for like 6 months or a year, free house, rent free, blah 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 blah. I did win it, yeah, and I didn't spend one day living with Kimberly Stewart.
The thing was, Matt, as well, as we was going through the show, it became from 6 months to 3 months. And
yeah,
you won it was a really crazy, beautiful house in Portobello Road. Ladbroke Grove in London.
Yeah, it was like Notting Hill, wasn't it? Notting Hill area. Yeah, beautiful place.
There was a pub round the corner, the Earl of Percy, what's gone now, sadly, and we had some good times in there. Well, good evening to everybody. Anyway, tonight's about Matt and his book, but you can all jump on after. We'll ask you questions, but you won a house in London rent free for 2 weeks. Is that something like that?
It was about 6 months, but you get this. So I don't know if I've ever told you this. So basically, as you well know, Jim, like she wasn't she weren't that great, was she? Let's be honest. She was a bit of a see you next Tuesday. And I'd had enough of her. By the time we'd finished the show, both of us, you and I, were both kind of done with the show. We kind of knew it was going to flop. But get this, I had a house down in Fulham for people up north. That's not that far away from Notting Hill, which is where that house was. And I was living in that house. I didn't need this house really. I was doing it for, like Jim says, to elevate my career. I'm not ashamed to say I did a reality show to try and elevate what I was doing at the time. But anyway, at that time, I had a part on EastEnders, a really tiny, shitty little part on EastEnders. And for those of you that don't know, like when you're on set, like you're not allowed any phones. Doesn't matter if you're an extra, featured extra, or you're a star or whatever. You ain't allowed a phone on set. So, you know, I had my phone in the locker rooms. And when I get back to my phone, like my phone is like missed calls, text messages from Kimberly. And she's fucking off her rocker, basically saying that next door to that house had just been burgled. Did I ever tell you this, Jim? Did I ever tell you this?
No, you never told me this story.
I never told you this. Wow. So basically, yeah, this house got burgled and she's losing her shit, basically shouting at me saying, I need to come home. I haven't been there. I haven't lived there. You need to come over. You need to protect me, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I'd had enough of this girl anyway. So I was like, you go and jog on. I'm not coming over. I live in Fulham. Get the police round. Anyway, from that day on, she moved out of the house and she moved some fucking random guy into the house for 6 months. So some random dude lived in that house for 6 months. It wasn't even on the show. Last I ever heard of her.
I remember you telling me, though, that when you went to give the keys back to Endemol, the producers of the show, this bloke had damaged a bit of shit in the house and they tried to bill you for it.
Yeah, he did, man. He was like some homeless guy. Like she was like moved some like homeless guy into this like like multi-million-pound mansion, 5-story mansion. This homeless guy was like living in it for like 6 months, and he basically trashed the place. So yeah,
it was an interesting time. Hello, Jamie Boyle. Basically, I only got to know you because you was upstairs, and there was like loads of levels to this house, and we was in the middle floor, and you was at the top floor, and I really didn't get to know you because I know you now, and like although we're different people in many ways, there's a similar theme, and you're kind of quite a bit aloof like me. And when people are aloof, sometimes you think kind of they're a bit stuck up, but they're just kind of like keeping themselves to themselves till they work people out. And we only got to gel really at the kind of the end of the show, you know. But it's one of these mad kind of random things that happen. But so like myself, after the show, you toyed with the idea of doing a bit of acting, stuff like that. And you was in Harry Potter. You did something in Harry Potter, didn't you?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, it was a minor thing. So after that show, no, it wasn't even after the show. I used to do what they now call fitness modeling. It sounds fucking wanky, but basically like top off men's health cover. That was the sort of shit that I used to do. Anyway, picked up an agent and started doing extra work and featured extra work, and I was getting quite a lot of stuff in, to be fair. And they put me forward for that Kimberly Stewart show. Then they got me the EastEnders, small EastEnders role, and then like I love Harry Potter. So yeah. I said to my agent, like, I know that they're filming. Is there any chance that I can just get on it, just have a look at the set? And she was like, oh, yeah, we will get you on it. And then lo and behold, bro, like they sent me over there. Next thing I know, I'm a fucking Death Eater. Like, you wouldn't know I was in the film. You wouldn't know it because I've got a mask on. But in Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, I am the guy that walks out of Ollivander's one shot right at the beginning. So that is me. You wouldn't know it was me. I got a mask on, but that is me.
You was with that other fella, Dave Lugano, in that film. Am I right in thinking that?
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Yeah, it's a shame. But from that, so when did you? And I remember at the time, you obviously being a bodybuilder as you was and a fitness man. You knew about your nutrition. Was you a qualified fitness instructor then?
No. So interestingly, on EastEnders, that's where it all happened. So like on EastEnders, I was like the barman. I was called Neil. I was a barman of this club called the R&R Club, which was a Roxy and Ronnie Mitchell. For anyone who watches EastEnders, Roxy and Ronnie Mitchell owned this club called the R&R Club, and I was like the manager of it. And I actually do like top off stripper shit. You know, the cast members start talking to you because it's a weird thing in TV, man. Like, I'm no actor, okay? I don't want to sound like this is bigger than it is. I'm no actor. It was just a poncy extra role. I did add some speaking parts, but they like divide you. You know, like as soon as you're speaking role, they take you out of the extra cabin and they put you in your dressing room, and you just feel like a bit of a cunt, to be honest. But it gives you access to these people, and they were asking me, you know, like, oh, can you help me with my nutrition? Can you help me train? And this, that, and the other. So I saw it as an opportunity. I was like, look, aren't many people in this position. I'm going to train a few of these people. And I ended up doing it, but I was unqualified, so I wasn't insured. So it was like the catalyst for me to go and get qualified. So yeah, that was like nearly 15 years ago. 15 years ago. I can't remember. Been a long time.
A lot. What do you think about the current batch of fitness gurus on TikTok who are just there's millions? I need to ask you something. There's a video. Yeah. There's a thing that goes on TikTok where there's a picture of a big fat girl, and she mixes some coffee and lemon in a cup, and the next thing she's in a bikini. Could we dispel them? Coffee and lemon is bullshit. That it won't make you drop the weight.
I mean, mate, where do I start? I know we're going to talk about the book today, but like I'm 40 years old, Jim. I was 40 in September. I am old in the fitness game. I'm considered old in the fitness game. But with age comes, you know, experience. And I look at this new wave of absolute waffle, and I just see it for what it is. It's bollocks. And if you lot are out there who are watching this who really don't like influencers or social influence or fitness influencers, then you are going to love what's in here, because I like put them to rights in here and everything about it. I can't fucking stand them.
I like that. I like what you did there. How long? No, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. How long was the book from conception to actual creation?
It's probably about 2 years. So the story behind it, like basically, like there was a book that came out a few years ago called "This Is Going to Hurt" by Adam Kay. They've since made it into a TV series, and Adam did really, really well. And all it is just diary excerpts of his life as a nurse in the NHS, and him exposing the NHS for what it is, and through stories of patients. And at the time, like for years, clients have been saying to me, you know, you need to write this stuff down, because I've had insane experiences. Like I've lived a massive life in a very short space of time. Like I've experienced mental things, which we'll talk about later. But clients and friends and family have been like, you need to write these things down because they only happen to you. That shit is weird. You need to write it down. So look, he released the book. He got really successful off the back of the book. So I was like, well, look, I can do this as well. I don't think of myself as a writer, but I put pen to paper and I found I wasn't that bad at it. At the time, I was going out with a BBC producer, and she knew Adam's editor, Francesca Main, and she gave Francesca some of my first bits, and Francesca really liked it. And so she then gave it to the head editor at Pan Macmillan, which is one of the big global five publishers. They really liked it and they took me on. And and then Black Lives Matter happened, and I was kicked to the curb, let's say. That's the politically correct way of saying it. So I've self-published.
Am I right in saying some of them told you that because of you're white, heterosexual and male, that you're at a distinct disadvantage to get a book published? Are we allowed to talk about stuff like that?
Yeah. I mean, in other words, she didn't put it like, she was really nice. The editor there was really nice. But this is the interesting thing that people don't realize, that in publishing, when you, it's very, very difficult to get a book published. If you're a nobody, I'm a nobody, it's very hard to get published. And when you go into the publishing world, you generally find an editor. So you'll have like a non-fiction editor, a children's editor, or a fiction editor, whatever. There's a load of editors at publishers. And if you get picked by one, which I did, it then has to go to the next stage, which is like the editing committee. So they get all of them come around and they talk about it. And then if they like it, it then goes to a marketing team, which then goes higher up. And then you end up basically with the MD. I didn't even get past the editing team because at the time, like I said, Black Lives Matter happened, and politically they changed what they wanted to do and who they wanted to promote, whether you think that's right or wrong, whatever. But they also brought in, and this is the shitty fucking thing, and people need to know this, and I think it's terrible. It's going to be the end of traditional publishing, is they brought in a sensitivity committee. Now, for those of you who hopefully will buy Behind Gym Doors, you'll realize that I probably failed that sensitivity committee in the first fucking chapter. So, you know, like, but this is happening. This is terrible. This is happening in mainstream publishing, that censorship is so high now that I wasn't even allowed to use the word crazy. Like, that's at the bottom echelon of the words that I use in this book, you know? So a lot of people like myself and a lot of, I know, very large authors are now going self-published, or they're going to like very small publishers, often US publishers, because of these sensitivity committees that they brought into mainstream publishing. It's fucking crazy.
Well, do you know
so
what?
Yeah, I ended up being self-published basically. 2 years.
Well, that's why I don't know if you've ever read my book, but it's quite fucking savage. It's growing up in Wigan and in the 70s and 80s. So you can imagine political correctness was kind of like it wasn't even born yet. So that's why I never even took my work to anything, because I just knew it'd get fucking butchered. And this is bullshit. You know what's happening though? Art is being driven back underground. You know what I mean? Once upon a time, you could make a lot of money from art, and you still can if you're compliant. But if you're a true artist who wants to create something unique to you and true to you, you have to go fucking underground, and you're not going to make much money. But, you know, my book's fucking really offensive, but there's a lot of scope for yours to be developed and go further on. So, do you feel you being a fitness instructor, it was like a natural journey, like fated? You just followed nature with it, kind of like, you know, and you just, it wasn't something you forced your way into. You fell into it through EastEnders, and from there it kind of developed.
Well, I mean, like I'm from a sporty family, so you know, my dad was semi-professional rugby player, so I've had that, and I went to like a sports secondary school, but actually, really, like I went to Loughborough University, which is known for its sport, right? But I didn't study sport there. I studied engineering and design. But you know, like I'm like a fucking beanpole when I arrived there. Like you could put like cufflinks on a t-shirt. That's how small I was, you know, like that. I was tiny, but amongst all these fucking units, and even the girls there were like units. So like I just got in the gym. I just started lifting weights and you know, built a physique. And I kind of I really loved it. And I naturally love helping people. You know, I've helped you a few bits and pieces, Jim. I just like helping people. Like I find like today's society, a lot of people just are selfish fucks and they just don't help people. But I've always wanted to help people. So the natural progression was, yeah, look, I love what I'm doing. I can make money off of it. I'm helping people. And yeah, like that's how you get longevity in my game. Like a lot of, I think I saw a statistic not too long ago, actually, that said like 90% of people who pass their personal training exams fail in the first year. And like I've done a few interviews on this recently in a few magazines and explaining why that happens, because a lot of people get into doing what I do because they like doing it themselves. But that doesn't mean you're a good teacher. It doesn't mean that you are genuinely interested in helping people. You're just trying to make money off of your hobby. That's not what this is about. And that's why I've lasted 15 years. I'm, you know, most people fail in the first year.
You talk about, it says on the one of the selling points is the dark side of the gym business. What do you mean by that? Would you want to take us on a tour? Obviously, don't give away the secrets of the book, but a kind of a synopsis of the dark side of the gym business.
Yeah, I mean, like the book, it's probably easy for me to describe this book, okay? So, number one, this book is not a book about telling you how you've got to eat and how you've got to train. Like, I didn't want to do anything like that. That shit is out there. Every fucker's doing that. And I'm sick and tired of it. Like, there's so many ways to skin the cat. I'm bored of it. So I wanted to do something different. So like Adam Kay did, I'm illustrating certain points of the fitness and health and fitness world that I wanted to talk about, like social media. I call it social psychosis, mystical, holistical, the health and wellness industry, celebrities. I talk about all of these things and I talk about it in the industry. I talk about how it affects you. And then I illustrate it with client stories, which are generally funny and horrible, actually. But the dark side of things, dark side is a funny term to use because it depends what you deem as dark side. You know, like I've trained millionaires, and most of my clients are millionaires and billionaires. That's just the realm that I'm in. But I've also trained some pretty high profile. How do I put it without ending up 6 foot under? High profile, Russian mafia. I've trained Russian mafia. I don't mind saying that. They wouldn't mind me saying that, I don't think. So yeah, like there's a darker side. So I think in terms of like the dark side of things, you just hear about stuff. I know about where money's gone. I know what these people do, how they manipulate business, manipulate people. I've been manipulated. I see some pretty shitty things from that wealth brigade, but then also some magnificent things as well. So there's an element of dark side of this book, and there's also the flip side of it as well. So it's not all like secrets necessarily.
I can excuse me. I can imagine what you do is something like a hairdresser in the sense of you get to build a bond with these people and they kind of open up to you because you're outside of their world, kind of thing. So they feel they're not on guard or something. I don't know that. Have you built a rapport with quite a few? I'm not saying necessarily talking about the mafia. I mean, the billionaires and the millionaires. Have you built up kind of a rapport with them?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I mean when I said earlier in this podder about like doing things that other people can't do. Like it's given me a life that is just crazy. Like I've been all over the world. I've been on private jets, private yachts, people's houses. I've been lent Lamborghinis. I've had, you know, things attempted to buy me. I've had people try and put investment into me for me to sell myself. I've been proposed to, like I've been put in positions where people want me to do illegal things with their money. You know, like personal training. This is what a lot of people don't realize. Okay, some fucking idiot said to me the other day on Twitter, "Is like, how can you charge what you charge when you're just standing there telling somebody what to do?" And I'm just like, this was somebody who's a lifter, by the way, as well. There's a lot of aggression towards personal trainers. We're kind of seen as like dumb, like because it's so easy to get the qualification. Like what they don't realize is that personal training is as much about the person as it is about the protocols of strength training and fat loss and muscle gain and nutrition and all of these things. So some clients hone in on that more personal thing. I'm a psychologist to a lot of people. I'm an ear to lend to a lot of people. Or on the flip side, I'm just there to facilitate them getting stronger or losing weight, you know? So it mixes. But you look, you know, when you're dealing with billionaires, you have to be so trustworthy. They take a long time to get used to you, but once you're in that circle, you're well known and you're trusted and you're regarded. But at the same time, you're so easily like thrown away. And that's what a lot of people also don't get either. Like I've lost a shit ton of clients over the years. Like I've been a fucking idiot as well. So, you know, like there's swings and roundabouts, but man, if you saw, I could probably show you, but like my folder of NDAs, non-disclosure agreements that I have here. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty thick. So
I bet you've got loads of shit you'd love to put in the book, but you can't.
Yeah, there's so much stuff, man. So the book went through 4 levels of legals. So I don't name anybody in it. Everybody's name is changed for obvious reasons. Times and dates are changed, and some venues are changed as well, just to protect them as much as it protects me. But like, also, I'm not here to like trade off of celebrities' names. Like, I just don't get that, man. Like, I understand why people do it, but I just think you're just a bunch of dickheads trying to level off somebody else's name. I can't deal with that shit. So yeah, everyone's anonymous. Yeah.
Would you say that the millionaires and billionaires have a different mindset and approach to life than your average Joe in the street? Is there like a vibe about them where, you know, like someone working a normal life, a normal job? Or what have you noticed? Obviously, you've seen more than one millionaire, billionaire. Would you say they have some kind of, there's just something about them that it strikes you as different, but it's common?
Yeah, that's an interesting question, because there are like different levels of millionaires and billionaires. So like if you're worth 10 million, for instance, you are poor compared to somebody who's worth 200 million. Somebody who's worth 200 million is poor compared to somebody who's a billionaire. It's in a different league. So, but here's the interesting thing: the people who are worth 200 million will go to the same restaurants, will share the same planes, will go to the same places that the people with the billionaires will, but they will not go to the same places that somebody worth 10 million will. They're very competitive. But in terms of like the way that they see the world, it varies just on personality, man. I mean, look, my very first studio that I opened in Hampstead, which is a really posh, expensive part of North London, the guys there are worth in excess of 300 million. They were the loveliest guys, 2 brothers, loveliest guys I've ever met, and really helped me in my career. Whereas, you know, I've trained the 3rd richest man in the world, and that fucker tried to get my rates down and made me wait for like an hour for him to come down to the session. And then when he did come down, he paid me in fucking euros. So I had to go and get it changed. Now, this is somebody who's probably makes, I mean, he at the time he was worth 40 billion. So you know, I don't know the maths on that. You're looking at millions in interest just in a day, probably, you know, and he's shorting me on like 60 quid. Like, it's a different mentality, man. But, you know, I've had billionaires who are crazy nice and will throw things at you. You know, I've been, like I said, I've been given a Lamborghini. I've been offered a 70 grand Audemars Piguet watch, you know, like all of these weird things. So it's a personality thing. But yeah, it's not like one thing that goes straight through them all. They just know to make.
Yeah. It's I suppose some of them don't get it by giving it away. Some of them won't split a fucking farthing, will they? Like, you know what I mean? But that's how some people are, and it's just is. But and you've been to Hollywood. You trained Hollywood stars. Am I right in thinking that?
Yeah. There's a really funny chapter in the book called The Prawn, which is about me going to Hollywood and training a film star there, and I nearly got in a punch up with his US trainer, who is very well known himself. The guy's an absolute douche canoe, but you'll have to read the chapter to see what that's all about. Hollywood is different now. Actors and actresses is changed. It changed a few years ago. So, like, I used to train quite a lot of music stars, still do to some degree, but less so now actors and actresses, because like production companies have changed the way that they fund things. So like training, for instance, like the actor and actress generally has to fund it themselves, not all the time, but most of the time now. Or the management companies used to pay, and they don't really do that much anymore. So I don't train like that many celebrities these days. Not I particularly want to either, because they never turn up for their sessions, and yeah, it's just a fucking waste of time, man. You know, when like Joe Blogs down the road in Pure Gym will do it for free, you know. So I can't be bothered.
Would you find a lot of the stars were like kind of disgruntled that they had to train for a film, but like because it was forced for the role, they didn't want to. Some of them didn't want to fucking do it. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake, I want to just eat burgers or something. But then to change the diet to play some fucking superhero or something.
I think like the actors and stuff, like they do, because like they're on screen, aren't they? They're seen more. So like they generally do, and they're committed to it. You know, like they're like 6 months filming. They know that they have to do it. It's the singers. Singers are the worst celebrity that you can train, because they are coked up to the eyeballs. They're on like late night studio sessions. They can't be fucked. They eat like shit, and they get everything paid for them. The singers are just the worst to do, male and female.
I'm dying backstage. Well, when I speak to you next in person, I've got obviously, if you could, I'm not going to mention that. Over that, I'm not even putting you in any positions whatsoever, kind of thing. But have you trained some really famous singers?
Yeah. I trained. I am under NDAs for these, but yeah, I've trained a very famous English female singer.
Fucking hell! Yeah. It's
you know what? We'll just go back, right, Jim? We'll go back to one of your first questions about all these fitness gurus. Like, what do you think of them? Get this, right? This fucked me off beyond belief. I was training a very famous English female singer, and I was under an NDA. I've got the NDA here. I was under an NDA. Trained her for about 3 or 4 months. Okay, she didn't do massively.
Can I just stop you there to tell people, if they don't know, an NDA is a non-disclosure agreement, which means you can't discuss the client. So just if anybody didn't know what NDA was, sorry, Matt, carry on.
Yes, all right. She didn't do that great. Okay, it wasn't one of my best. But look, I wasn't allowed to talk about her. Okay, I wasn't allowed to say anything, nothing on socials, nothing. One of the most famous fitness gurus in this country, suddenly see him fucking promoting her, saying that he trained her and this and this. And I'm sitting there going, are you joking me? Like, really? How is this possible? And this is the thing, man. This is which kind of like started my disillusionment with the whole thing. It's like, behind the scenes, those two knew each other, and she was allowing him to promote her training with him. Because I'm a nobody, dude. I'm like, I keep myself very secret. My studio is underground. There is no signs. You could walk past it and you wouldn't even know it was there. That's the USP to my business. It's private. And this cunt was basically trying to get in on the action. And that's just, you know, like, that's the world that I'm living in, man, you know. And that guy went on to be mega. Do
you know what? I'm not just saying this. This actually, I'm going to buy this book. Like I told you, I'm on with at the moment. Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, and I've got a load of manifestation books and shit. But I'm going to buy this book anyway and just put it over on my coffee table. But so you've been working at such a high level. We've kind of skated over this. Has anybody ever come over to you, whispered in your ear, and offered you a funny handshake and saying, "Join us"?
What were the Illuminati? What can I say? We did talk about this, didn't we? Like, you know, the thing is, right, this is not the first time I've been asked this about, you know, this thing called the Illuminati. You know, dealing with the people that I deal with, you would expect that to be there. Now, look, the Masons, the Freemasons are still alive and kicking. They're nowhere near as powerful as they used to be. I don't know if any of my clients are. I couldn't tell you. I very much doubt it. Not because the majority of my clients are Jewish, because I work in North London. I don't know if Freemasons even allowed Jews on their roster. I don't know. I don't know. But I doubt they are. But, you know, working with billionaires, you hear about stuff. And, you know, it depends how deep down that rabbit hole you want to go. But, like, you know, all the cabal and all the paedophilia and stuff like that, I've never heard of anything like it.
No.
But what I can comment on, and this is really fucked up or interesting, depends on how you want to look at it. But I do know of an investment group, one of my clients is part of it, that are actively seeking lifelong longevity, if that makes sense. And they're investing in how to keep their brain alive when they're dead. Right. And it's, I read an article, I think you could probably Google this, I think it was in The Guardian or some shit, this was many years ago, talking about this group. I forget what they're called. I had a really bad back injury many years ago, and my back surgeon, I'm very lucky enough to have a very good back surgeon, and he also talked to me about it. And I was like putting two and two together, and I was like, wow, there's something definitely going on in the back, you know, in the back room of these millionaires and billionaires, and how to keep themselves alive. Well, we'll dig out the articles. It was a super fascinating article, but basically keeping their brains alive and working when their body is dead is messed up.
Excuse me, Matt. It ties in with this transhumanism, where they eventually want to put your soul or the essence of you on a USB stick. You know what I mean? And then they can like plug it into like some other robot and things. But if we're allowed to talk about it, how do you end up training the old Russian mafia?
The Russians.
Are you like I
don't want to get you... No, it was perfectly normal. So I've just also done another interview about them. So you know, look, in the book, I talk about 2 chapters which involves the Russians. And what's interesting about the Russians is, like, I have a lot of respect for them. I know that might not go down very well with regards to what's going on in the war, but I have a lot of respect for them because they don't take any fucking shit, and they're very upfront. And that's what I like about them. So how do I describe it? So I just met them as I worked at a very, very high profile personal training institution in London before I went out on my own, and one of them was there, very, very well known. And he was just super vocal about it. It was like, yeah, we're Russian mafia. Like it's not like the fucking Godfather. It's not like Goodfellas. They're not like the Italians going around like, you know, blowing up cars and shooting people. I'm sure they probably do that, but this is the cool thing or dangerous thing. Is like, I'm dealing with these guys, okay? These guys are sitting in line or just slightly below Putin, okay? Because that's where they have to be. You can't do business in Russia without being in business with Putin. And then you get all the mobsters, which are all down here, and all the killings and all of whatever they do down there, the street guys. But I'm dealing with these guys. These are guys that are like top end business. They don't get their hands dirty in anything. They're all into oil, gas, gold. One of my guys was in gold in Nigeria. But they're very open about being this sort of mafia, in an inverted commas, mafia. Yeah, it's like a business mafia. You know, in North London, for instance, I've got clients who would consider themselves as the Jewish mafia, and I just think that terminology immediately makes you think gun toting, gonna, you know, put you 6 foot under. It's not. It's just the way that they like dangle their tentacles and manipulate governments and businesses and monies here and there and there. That's what we mean by Russian mafia. No doubt that they are super dangerous. I'm sure they are. I've never seen it. One of the chapters in the book is about a really surreal experience, which I was party to, which I was allowed to come into a Russian business meeting, which was super fucking intimidating. They put me on the spot. I won't say how, but they proper put it on me. And yeah, man, it was cool. But, you know, I knew that client really well. I really trusted him. He allowed me into his home, and he was a Jewish as well. So a lot of the big Russian oligarchs are Jewish as well. And for somebody who's non-Jewish to go into a Jewish house is quite a thing. So I always trusted. So I knew I was kind of safe, but it was a fucked up experience. Probably one of the most weirdest experiences I can talk about with them. But yeah, man, I've got a lot of respect for them, and hopefully I've done them justice in this. I haven't put any of the nasty shit because I don't really know much of the nasty stuff, to be honest.
We've not finished, but I think behind Jim Doors. If you're interested in buying Matt's book, there's a link below to the Amazon. Actually, I think it's a link to your website. Actually, what takes you to. But I'm not finished with you yet, sir. That's all right. So far in your 15 years, what's been a high point of your training career? Has there been one kind of moment where you just think that stands out to you as a high point, or has it been littered with high points and low points?
Yeah, I think, you know, like I know you wanted to talk about Andrew Tate in a bit, but like I think a lot of stuff, and I talk about this again in this book because I wanted to be honest with people, right? You get a lot of dickheads showing how successful and how famous they are and how much money they have and all of these things, right? Like, it's hard not to get sucked into that because it's inviting. As a personal trainer who's dealt with millionaires and billionaires, I'm in that world. I'm in that world of success, real success. Would I say that I was successful myself? Like, not particularly. Financially, as a personal trainer, you can be mega, and then you can also be mega under. And I talk about this in the book. Like, it fluctuates all the time. Okay, I'm not going around buying Ferraris. I can't fucking afford them. But you'll get people who say that they can. And the massive one, you must have seen it, is this Liver King guy. You know, this guy that's been all over the place at the moment, Liver King. You seen him?
I've heard of it, but what can you explain to me who the fuck he is? Is it TikTok?
Nah, yeah, he's this knobhead who's like juiced up to the eyeballs. Like, honestly, man, he's like absolutely tanked, and he eats offal. He eats like, you know, all the raw meats and stuff, and he has his whole family eating raw meat, and he says that his physique is from raw meat. It's like, nah, bro, you've been taking too much tren and all the other stuff. Like, but he's been caught out about it because he's been selling supplements off the back of it. But look, this douchebag basically harks on about how successful he is and how many millions he's got. He's got 100 million. So you're getting all these arseholes trying to follow him, a little bit like Andrew Tate, to be honest. So like high points of like, you can be really, really financially successful. You can be, you know, there have been times when I've been, you know, like pretty comfortable and thinking this is great. And then the next month you don't earn anything. Yeah. So, but I think what you'll get from behind Jim Doors is that there's been a lot more low points than there's been high points. And the low points in this book are fucking bad. They're horrible. I mean, it's out in the media at the moment. I'm doing a lot of magazine and TV stuff, but I've been shit on, literally. Yeah, I've been witness to just like people eating placentas, drinking period blood. Dude, just there's so many awful things that have happened in this. And I talk about it. I talk about them all, actually. And there's a lot that are going into the second book as well.
Is the period blood like a Los Angeles? Like, was that something? Was that an LA thing? Was that a start? Yeah. You have to name the person, but was that some mad LA thing?
Yeah, LA is messed up, man. I mean, Jesus Christ, they call it La La Land for a reason. Like
You
the
know what?
craziest people I know is from LA.
You know what? I went visiting it, and it was so fucked up, but I kind of liked it. I liked how fucked up it was. It was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. There's men walking down the streets with the pants around their ankles, showing their ass off the fucking head on drugs, and there's people pushing shopping trolleys around full of plastic, and it's just like fucking Wigan on a fucking Tuesday afternoon, really. But this is a fascinating book. And just can we veer slightly away from the book? I want to ask you a question. Have you seen the dark side? Have you seen kind of the dark side of steroid abuse?
What do you mean by dark side?
Well, I mean, like you get somebody like Ronnie Coleman, who's kind of, that's not really the gear what's done. He made himself that big and strong that he just fucking, his bones collapsed under the weight, under lifting such mammoth weights and things like that. Have you seen people consumed by getting bigger and, and
I think steroid use, is probably one of the worst things that is happening to young men at the moment in fitness. You're getting clowns like the Liver King telling people that they've got to do certain things to look like he is. He ain't doing any of that shit. He's taking so much gear. So what happens? Young, impressionable men. Love Island. I wrote an article about why Love Island is killing the fitness industry. And what I meant by that was that you're getting all these knobheads going on there who are in good condition. And then people are seeing that. Young, impressionable males are seeing that. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when they realize and they go into a gym and they work out for 6 months to a year and they realize they don't look like these guys on TV, well, what are they going to do? We live in a society where everything is quick and easy and instant gratification. These fuckers don't want to put in hard work. They can just get it for a needle or a tablet. So they go on steroids. And people do not understand the effects of steroids, okay? I am neither an endorser or somebody who dissuades people, because if you've done the right research, I know people who use steroids, TRT, to very, very manageable amounts and have elevated their careers, have elevated their performance and do it safely with endocrinologists. So I've seen the really good side of it. But then you get these clowns down the gym who take black market gear, which has got like fucking synthol and all these shitty oils that have been scraped off the Turkish kebab shop floor. Like that's the dark side. That's the dark side, man. And a lot of these influencers that you're seeing on social media who are just showing their six pack, these fuckers, man, they're on everything. And it doesn't just stop there. It doesn't just stop there. So I've worked with elite sportsmen and women. And I predominantly work with fighters as well. So MMA fighters, my best mate is a pro MMA fighter. He's clean, but he's fighting people who aren't clean. Fighting is rife in the fight world. But get this. So going back to my back issue that I had, I said I was very fortunate because I had a very good back surgeon. Well, I do. But at the time, I went to see numerous back surgeons. My sister is a high-end sports agent, and I will not say who it is, but there was a very, very famous tennis star who really hurt his lower back and hip. That might be a bit of a giveaway. She put me over to his surgeon. So I went to see his surgeon, and he just told me just the same shit I kept hearing. And I said, no, come on, man. I'm not having this. How did you get him back playing professional tennis within 3 months of him having this surgery? And he kind of like looked at me and he was like, who are you talking about? And I told him who it was and that my sister was his agent. And he kind of like, his eyes widened and he realized that he was talking to somebody who knew more than a lot of other people. And he basically said, you need to go and see this person. So I went to see this person. This person, Jim, was an anti-aging expert based in Harley Street. I went to see this guy. This guy was like, if you want to get better, if you want, your blood cells to help your back, your slip discs and stuff like that, you need to go on growth hormone, this testosterone, this testosterone, this testosterone. That's how easy it is, dude. That's how easy it is. And this is top flight sportsmen.
Let me ask you something. Stem cell therapy. Was this kind of guy into the stem cells and stuff?
Yeah. So he said at the same time, if you don't want to go down the the growth hormone testosterone replacement route, he would fund me to go to somewhere in India to go through to their stem cell program. I was like, you ain't finding me out there doing that shit, man. To take 2 of my kidneys out and send me back home. No way. No way.
Yeah.
But the point here is that, like, you, with somebody who's inside the industry, like when I look at sports stars now, I can't for the life of me go, these guys are natural. I just can't. Like, again, many years ago when I set the MPH method. So my business is called the MPH method. It's a 5-stage method.
Yeah.
And part of it is hormone testing, blood work, stool work, saliva work testing. Anyway, when I first launched it, I basically had an agency contact me and asked me if I could do blood work for an Indian youth team. And it turned out that this Indian youth team was managed by one of the richest men in the world, Indian guy. And they were clay pigeon shooters. And we, myself and my physio, I use an amazing physio who's the Olympic physio, Tim. We discussed it and we were like, why the fuck do they want blood work? Why does an Indian youth team based in India want some random nobody in London to do their blood work? And we basically figured out that what it was they were just managing blood doping levels, and they didn't want to be found out over in India because they're lowering their heart rates, when they're shooting.
Yeah.
And like, bro, that's the thing. A lot of people think when you go on steroids or you're using testosterone or you know, the like growth hormone and things like that, you get hench, you get huge. You don't have to at all. It depends which types you use. I mean, look at Tour de France. I'd say 99.9% of those are using some form of blood doping.
There's Androgen. From what I remember, you'll be far more adept at this. I used to do the bodybuilding when I was younger, and I read a book by Dan Duchaine called the Underground Steroid Handbook. Now, the ironic thing was Dan Duchaine championed the use of anabolic steroids, but died of kidney failure. You know what I mean? That was. I've got a copy of the book, and it was like a pamphlet book, but it's worth a few quid. To be fair.
Yeah. I think people are just like scared of hard work now. Like everybody loves sausages, but no fucker wants to see how they're made. And that's the thing, isn't it? Like, you want to get big, but you don't want to go through the pain of getting there, or you want to be fast and you don't want to go through the pain of getting there. So everyone turns to the dark side, as you put it. Yeah.
It's the age now. I mean, back in the day, you'd write letters to people and wait for a reply. Now everything. Everybody wants everything fucking now. Everybody wants everything instant. But as you mentioned him, Mr. Tate, you had dealings with Andrew Tate, have you not, sir?
Yeah. Brief. Basically, yeah. Andrew is a character. I mean, no, I've not met the guy. I've not met him, but I've chatted to him. And I am still I'm not 50-50 on him because I think he's a scumbag. But, you know, I think Andrew is an enigma to me. Because I feel like this guy is living the perfect lie. And, you know, if you're a good fucking liar, every lie you tell has got elements of truth in it, which is what makes it so good. And this guy comes on and he talks a lot of sense. I mean, the guy's an orator. He's good at what he says, and what he says hones in on people's insecurities and what people want to say but are afraid to. But behind Andrew Tate is a multi-level marketing scheme, and be under no mistake that that's what that is. Okay, and he tried to recruit me earlier this year via Instagram, and so here's how it went. I was going through a really shitty time, and I'm on Twitter more than I am on Instagram, and I just saw tons of people talking about his Hustlers University. That's what it was. It was Hustlers University.
I'm familiar with it.
Yeah. I think he's got like different levels. Hustlers University is like the entry level. He's 70 quid a month. You've got access to his Wolf's Den or whatever he calls it, where he's got all these people telling you about finance, crypto, all of these things. So when you're in the shit, For 70 quid, you can get access to this. This is exactly how multi-level marketers get you. Is they find people who are in bad positions and they hone in on the things that you want, and they market to you. So I started chatting to some of these people, and they basically, I don't know how it happened, but they got me onto Instagram. And it wasn't Andrew Tate. It was like these affiliates, because he uses affiliate marketing really well. And they were telling me, and they were trying to sell me these courses. And I was just like, get the fuck out of here, man. This is a hard sell. Don't try and hard sell to me. So I was like, ignored it. And then I contacted Andrew myself, saying that somebody or numerous people were trying to shill his courses for a lot less than what they were being sold for. He then got back to me, and he got back to me pretty quick. Clearly, he knew these were the people that he'd organised this, because he knew all about it. And he would basically, I'll have to check what it said, but he immediately kind of said, "How much money do you make?" And I lied. I because I know what he's about. I lied. I said like I earn a lot more than I did. And he was like, "Bro, you're poor. Like, you're a nobody. Why are you contacting me? You're poor." And I'm like, right, bro, that shit ain't never gonna wash with me. It might wash with a 17-year-old. You putting down a 17-year-old, making him like a cuckold, is gonna work to force them to pay you. I wasn't having any of it. So I left it, just ignored it. He then contacted me about a week, 2 weeks, maybe a month later. I'll send you some screenshots. And then he contacted me again. He was like, just to open up the conversation again. This time he wasn't aggressive. He wasn't like trying to demean me. And he basically said, "You need to come and," he was like, why are you not part of the Wolf's Den? I can't remember what it's called, something like that. Why are you not part of the Wolf's Den? I was like,
the war room.
The war room. Yeah. Why are you not part of the war room? That's it, the war room. And I was like, bro, I haven't spoken to you for 4 weeks. I think you're a dickhead. And why are you suddenly coming at me again? And then he tried to start recruiting me for the war room. The war room's like $3,000 or something ridiculous.
Fucking hell.
But I got the measure of this guy. This guy is just a master of affiliate marketing, and it's multi-level marketing. And it's how many people can you get to pay your 70 quid Hustlers University? I can see a question on here from Martin.
Yeah, is Hustlers University a con?
So Martin, I can't possibly comment if it is or not, because I never did it. I hear really good things about it, but I'm hearing it from potentially his affiliates. So it's kind of like, I don't know. I can't answer it. I just find him the perfect master liar. He is a genius in that respect. And he talks a lot of sense. But remember, there's a lot of truth and a lot of lies.
Do you think that he's a front man for some organisation like and this is my conspiracy theory that his father was in the CIA. His father was.
When you put that to me, Jim, it made me think. When you put that to me, it did make me think. I never heard of his dad being part of the CIA. I know he was a chess champion, but
he talks about it. He actually opens his his dad was in the CIA, and Andrew says he's got 20 passports. And I was just thinking, unless you're in the club, you'd struggle to get 2 passports. But we're not here. But that's interesting. That, you know what I mean. One final thing. Do you think he's got as much money as he makes out?
No chance. So here's the reason why. So he did. There's a few reasons actually. He did an interview with Piers Morgan recently, and Piers Morgan asked him, "How much are you worth?" And he went, "I'm probably a billionaire right now." Now, on the flip side, he's been queued up to fight this Jake Paul dickhead. Okay, and Jake Paul basically said, "You want to fight me? Put up 30 million quid." And his response was, "I haven't got 30 million quid, but I've got 3 million quid." Now, guys, I know billionaires. 30 million quid to a billionaire is fuck all. Is a week just on interest alone. Easily. So that's easy for a billionaire. The second reason, okay, is that he came out with a famous quote, right, or a comment saying, "What color is your Bugatti?" This tactic of making you feel shit about your life because you ain't got a Bugatti. Well, get this. One of my clients is the biggest Bugatti collector in the world. And he commented back and went, I've got it in this color, this color, this color, this color, this color, this color. Okay. It was a schmuck move, but it was like, yeah, Andrew, what are you going to say? Because if you are a billionaire, you can compete with my client. Because my client's worth, I think it's like 5 to 10 billion, I think, the Bugatti guy.
You know what? He does have an habit, Andrew Tate, if you watch him, to make you feel shit.
Yeah.
It does make you feel bad in every fucking way, like, and you can buy into it, you know. And but like I said, that explains a lot about it. But we're not here. Anybody who's just joining us, I'm with Matt Hodges, the author of Behind Gym Doors. We're talking about Matt's journey through 15 years as a fitness. This is the book available. Click the link below. If anybody's interested in purchasing the book, click the link below. Could you ask a few? Peter Boothroyd says it's like you with Peter Boothroyd. I don't put you down. Could you answer a few nutrition questions? Would you be open to? Sorry, mate. Could you be up for answering a few nutrition questions if anybody's interested? Has anybody
nutritional training? Anything you like? Check out me.
Nutrition, the book. Any questions, please, on Matt's book or the nutrition? Anything about training you was afraid to? I'm talking shit. You know what I mean. So if anybody now, this is your time. Just throw a question in if you've any interest in training, the book, or nutrition. I'll start off. Is magnesium an important supplement?
Yeah. So magnesium is probably up there with maybe like the top 5 supplements that I would give anybody, to be honest. More so women actually than men. But yeah, man, magnesium is a process in most organs in the body. Repairs you, makes you have a lot better cognitive function. So much better for your neurology and the brain function. Most people are generally low in magnesium. Okay, we don't have like we can't really get it that naturally either. So it's worth supplementing magnesium. Definitely, you'll get better sleep with it too. And a really important thing for women with magnesium is this is really interesting. This is a bit kooky, but it's really interesting. Many years ago, I met this doctor who claimed that he could cure cancer, whatever. But one of the things he said to me, which really stuck with me because I've used it with clients, not personally used it with clients as you're about to find out, but he said to me, if women can't come, they can't orgasm, get them on magnesium. Lo and behold, yeah. And it works, man. It works like a dream. So all you suckers out there who are shit shagging, get your missus on magnesium. You'll be like dynamite.
I think I'll have to order a fucking wheelbarrow full. But joking aside, I mean, I suffer from really bad seasonal affective disorder.
Yeah.
And since I've been taking magnesium and vitamin D, it seems to have elevated things. Also, Matt, I take nascent iodine as well. Would you recommend taking iodine?
Iodine, yeah, but you have to be really careful with iodine because the toxicity levels of iodine, they're very small. Okay, so like with magnesium, your safety range is huge. So if you took a lot of magnesium, your safety range is pretty big. If you took a lot of iodine, your safety range is tiny. So if you took a lot, you're going to be in toxic levels big time. You got to be careful with iodine. That said, you can get enough iodine from like eggs, shellfish, I think, like oysters, seaweed, cod. What else? What else has got iodine in it? Yeah, things like that, man. You can get enough from it, and salt as well. You know, like they do iodinized salt, so you can get enough in it. But magnesium definitely supplement for sure. Iodine less so.
We've got a question here.
Good question.
What's the best,
man? Dude, I have not got the answer to that. I'm not a qualified nutritionist in this respect. That's a question for definitely a qualified nutritionist. I'm more of a nutrition advisor. That's a great question. I would like to know the answer to that. Sorry, Mogo.
Do you agree though that would you say that food we eat now, even the natural food, there's not as much goodness in it as it used to have with pesticides and over farming? You think it's important for everybody to supplement? Oh, you disagree?
No, there's only a few supplements that I would ever endorse, right? Omega-3. You only got to look at the anti-cancerous properties that have omega-3. Don't bother with 6 and 9. You get those enough in most diets. So omega-3 I would take. Creatine I would also take. Now, creatine has had a bad rep, okay? But that's kind of like 90s bodybuilding. It used to be a bit shit. It's very good now. I would always take some creatine. Magnesium, definitely. Vitamin D. 25,000 IU vitamin D is what I find to be optimal. I, like you, Jim, suffer from SAD. What else would I put in there? Vitamin C is one of those things that you can. A lot of people have some absorption issues with vitamin C, but like those are the only ones that I would really take, to be honest. I mean, there's so fucking many out there. This is the point about the magnesium. It's like, which one do you take? I mean, just a generic, you know.
I'm taking a blend of it's got a bit of all of them in kind of thing. It's 400 milligrams a day, but it's called fullnesium. But I've got a couple more questions for you, sir. Only Me says, what is healthiest in your opinion? Keto or calorie counting?
Oh, okay. So I am a big endorser of calorie counting, not keto. Okay. So can I ask only me, why are you asking this question? Is it because you want to lose weight? Yeah. Let's see what they say.
I've been cutting, well, until recently. I'm eating Quality Street now as I talk to you, and I've had a kebab earlier. But yeah. I was really cutting my carbs down because I piled that much weight on. I was just done a photo shoot in London, and I looked like Mr. fucking Stay Puffed on it. And it's the fattest, the fucking fattest I've been. So I was really feeling the benefits of low carb and, you know, cutting down on. I was big on bread, you know, loads of bread, but and my joints started to feel better from inflammation. Is there anything you can recommend for like someone suffering from inflammation in the body?
Yeah. Okay, so this is all tied into what Only Me has just said, okay? So I'm not a fan of ketogenic dieting, okay? And the reason is because I've done it myself, so I can only speak from a personal experience. But the crux of keto and why people get really good results on keto generally is because of a calorie deficit, generally, okay? Then you can argue that the inflammation goes down, they feel like they've got more energy. Well, yeah, no shit, because you're probably eating better, to be honest. So here's the thing that will baffle a lot of people, all right? And I've talked about this extensively in the media, is that you could still eat your Quality Street. You can still eat your kebab. But if you're under your basal metabolic rate, your BMR, not to get it twisted with BMI, your BMR, your basal metabolic rate, okay? If you're below that each day, you'll lose weight. So what your BMR is how many calories that you need to survive in the way that you currently are a day. So Jim, you might need 2,100 calories a day, okay? If I take you to 2,000 calories a day, you're going to lose weight. And you can still factor in your kebabs or whatever. Now, I'm not endorsing eating shit.
No.
Because nutrition-wise, it's not great. But look, I eat generally whatever I want because I know how many calories are in things. So in answer to the question previously, are you calorie counter or are you keto? Calorie counter all day long because it allows you to have alcohol, it allows you to have pizza, burgers, whatever you want, as long as you understand how that fits into your basal metabolic rate.
Right.
Yeah.
I just had to put this up. It's a regular Peter Boothroyd. I've just stolen a microwave curry from M&S, but we're not shocked. I don't know how many calories are in that, Peter, but there's a
probably a shit ton. Yeah, but like I said, you can still eat it, Peter. You can still eat it as long as it's in your basal metabolic rate.
This is Only Me's response to you, sir. I've been doing keto and lost over a storm, but my hair is coming out a lot more than usual. Nothing to alarm, and just wondering if keto is making me short as a mineral or whatsoever.
Yeah. I've heard this before. I've heard this a lot, actually. You can Google this. It's a symptom of keto. I don't believe in keto. I think it restricts your diet so much that you are going to lose essential minerals. And the reason why people do well on it is generally in the first sort of month to 2 months, because they lose all the water weight, or they lose all the shitty pounds that they put on because they've eaten over their basal metabolic rate. Well, keto will take you under it. But I've not met anybody who can sustain keto for that long or functions that well on keto. You'll always get the keto zealots that swear by it and say it's the best thing since sliced bread, like intermittent fasters do. But really, man, it's just calorie restriction, and to a dangerous level, in my opinion.
Sorry, Matt. I saw a lad who lost a lot of weight on keto, and then I saw him the other day and he was really fat. And I don't want to mention any names, Mike Smith. But he's a right. Fucking. I'm sorry, Mike. I just have to say it. Last time I saw you, he was as fat as me. But Mike was well into his keto, and you know, he'd go to Five Guys and not eat the burger. He'd just pull the burger off and leave the bread, and it's a waste of fucking money. But yeah, like I said.
So here's the shit. Here's the shit. When you lose a ton of weight really quickly with crash diets, and I'm including keto in crash diet. You'll always put it on more because it's not fucking sustainable. You've got to live your life. If you drink or you like a pizza or you like a kebab, taking that away from you and taking it out of your routine is going to be devastating on you, because you're going to hate your life, man. You'll just be a miserable cunt walking around the street hating on everyone, or becoming an urbenex or whatever it is you were talking
Peter
about.
Boothroyd, that's described Peter Boothroyd, a regular to our channel. He hates everybody. I don't know what his caloric intake is, but we've got a question here, sir.
Okay.
Alexander, I have PCOS and have struggled to lose weight. Having checked my BMI, just counting calories was real and worked for me.
Yeah, there's old Alex. So Alex is a client of mine, or a kind of client of mine.
Cool.
So she won't mind me telling you. Yeah, so she's got polycystic ovaries, and Alex just needed some tinkering with her diet. She needed to be showing how BMR works, what her calorie intake should be per day, and what her macronutrients should be in per day. And like she just said, she's lost a stone of weight in quite a short period of time. Like, this shit works, guys. It doesn't need to be fucking rocket science. You don't need to be on Weight Watchers and all of that over.
But like you said, Matthew, it's a big. I don't know why I called you Matthew. Then that's your Sunday name. But there's a big business built around this, isn't there?
Exactly that.
Billion pound, $1 billion industry built around selling you a quick fix. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And, you know, and like I said, mentioned before, mix some fucking lemon and coffee in a cup and you'll lose 50 stone. Yeah. You know,
I've literally just written an article for a national newspaper about this. And I use have you ever heard of Bulletproof Coffee? You ever heard of that brand?
Yeah, what the fuck is that? Is it like whiz in a cup?
Yeah. Basically, like this is the great example of this, like, clownism. Okay, so like this guy who came up with the brand Bulletproof Coffee, which owns their own coffee and their own coconut oil and the milk and stuff, right? Is that if you have a cup of coffee in the morning, all right, instead of eating, you've got to put in like a teaspoon of their coconut oil and then a teaspoon of like their milk or some shit like that. Your cognitive function increases and you don't need to eat, and you're gonna lose weight and all of this stuff. Now, the article that I wrote on it was like, you need to be careful with companies like this because their coffee has got a trademark and a register on it. Their fucking oil has got a trademark and a register on it, and so is their milk. Oh, well, guess what? They're trying to sell you products based off a bullshit idea. Now, I'm telling you, Jim, going back to that basal metabolic rate, let's say you're 1,500, like most women are around 1,500. You drink a cup of coffee with oil in it and milk, you're looking at 600 calories probably just on that coffee. Yeah. Like, come on, man. Like, that shit's stupid. Go and eat something. Go and eat something you enjoy.
People talk about good fats and bad fats, Matt. And I've heard of people who talk about you can eat coconut oil. It's a trans. Is it? I don't know, but you can eat there's good fats. What you can eat. Yeah. Would you agree with that, or would you disagree with it?
Yeah. So, like, the term like good and bad, I kind of like try and move people away from it. But like, yeah, all right, you've got HDL and LDLs, and and trans fats and things like this. So trans fats you'll find in biscuits and cakes. They're not really that soluble in the body. But like, look, dude, eating fat, again, this is what a lot of people don't know, and I don't want to sound patronizing. Per 1 gram of fat yields 9 calories, whereas 1 gram of protein and 1 gram of carbs, they're 4 calories each. So it doesn't matter how good your fat you're eating, you're consuming way more calories. Fat is fat at the end of the day. It yields 9 calories per gram. Most people have too high fat in their diet and too high carbohydrate in their diet, which takes them over their basal metabolic rate. So yeah, there is LDL and HDL on fats, which, you know, has issues with cholesterol and arteries and all of this stuff. But ultimately, if we're talking about fat loss, it's calories, man.
Timothy McPherson asks, are you familiar with Clive DeCarle? He's a nutritionist.
No.
He's big on magnesium and iodine, and he cured himself of arthritis with magnesium and other supplements.
Yeah.
No problem. So we've got another.
Never heard of him. Sorry, Tim.
No worries. We've got another question from Jason at Raconteurs News. What would Matt recommend for increased circulation?
Okay, so this is a bit of a minefield. So I will just go out on a limb here and say that you're quite healthy anyway. Look, your circulation, what's the main organ that regulates circulation? Is your heart. You've got to work your heart. You know, you've got to train your heart. So, you know, you've got to hit your cardio, which is anaerobic and aerobic. Aerobic, for instance, is like your long distance runners. Anaerobic is like your sprinters. You need to get both of those in. Okay. That's kind of like the best thing that you can do for circulation. Now, if you're talking supplements for circulation, you can use things like arginine, which is good for vasodilation. Coffee's a good one, actually. Coffee can do can do you well, which is why it's used as a pre-workout, because it gets the blood flowing quite quickly.
Cool. So, as you prefer calorie counting, which of the current trendy diet regimes would you recommend for both fitness and weight loss? I think we've answered this. I think. Sorry, I can't.
Yeah, fucking none of them. None of them. They're all bullshit. They're all bullshit. The only one that is that I would give any weight to, ironically, is Weight Watchers, even though I've just bashed them. But what that tries to do is to still give you foods that you like within a system of calorie counting. I don't like it from other things, but that's probably the better one. If you want some help, just DM me on Instagram. I'll show you a few little things you do. But the best thing I can offer you or tell everybody here is work out your basal metabolic rate. Okay, there's calculators online that you can do it with. And then if you need help with like how much protein, carbs, and fats fit into it, I can lend an ear.
You know what? There's some fantastic information there. And this book, I'm going to order a copy when I get off here. But it sounds like a fascinating read, Matt. I'm sure you need to get off now. But Matthew, why am I saying this? Matt Hodges, author of Behind Gym Doors. Anybody interested in a copy of the book? Click on the link below. I'm gonna now put your Insta underneath, and what your website, MPH. What is the website?
The mphmethod.com. That's my business email website. Sorry, but yeah, like Instagram stuff for the book. On a final note, guys, just to reiterate, this is not how to eat and how to train properly. This is more about the world of fitness, what I think about it, how opinionated I am about it, and it's illustrated with generally pretty funny stories to my detriment, like getting shit on, for instance, or getting my arm nearly broken in a Russian mafia arm wrestling match.
Is that in the book as well?
Right, there's so much in there. Yeah, that's in there. Women who wrap themselves in cling film, guys who shit on boats, expecting you to clean them up. God, women who eat their placentas, period blood. Like women who wet themselves. There's all of these things, but yeah, it's about funny stories. I want people to laugh about fitness again. We've got too serious, and there's too many wankers out there trying to shill stuff. So let's just laugh about fitness again, man. Let's have a good time.
Yeah, fuck Joe Wicks. Support Matt Hodges. Fuck that cunt, the floppy-eared prick. Support a lad who's self-publishing. Support this book. Click on this fucking book and buy it. I know I've not read it. I'm going to buy it, but I know from this lad, he's an intelligent, creative lad. He designed all the thumbnails for the podcast. He's been a pleasure to talk to you, so please click on the link below. Buy this man's book, and thank you very much, Mr. Matt. I'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for the questions. Cheers.
No worries. Have a good night, mate.
You too, guys. Take care.
Bye-bye. I'll boot you off now. All right, Matt. Matt Hodges there, anybody? And I forgot. I forgot to tell you something. But not about Matt. That book will be amazing. Okay, click on the link below. You'll be looking from the YouTube page. I've put a link to his website there. You'll be able to go and peruse the website, see what he's up to, what he's got to say to you, and also click on the link and let me know if you've bought the book. I'm not on commission. No, this is not Dr. Robert Salve. I'm not on commission, but let me know if you're going to buy the book. I'm just interested. I just want to support. This channel's about supporting people, and let me just put my little link up. I think you know what I'm going to do. So I've got a bad chest. I need some more colloidal silver. That was Matt. Matt is amazing. Okay, right. Let me try and do this kind of thing. Bear with me. The Apple Mac's really slow. It needs cleaning up. Some of you might be interested to know. Buy Me a Coffee is back. I know a lot of you didn't like donating through PayPal, but I'm not sure, Margot, but I'll mod you up again. I think there you go. So sorry, I just when we had a brief period away, I didn't know what to do. Jimmy, do you not bother drinking? I got into a bad habit of drinking. I don't, mate. I don't really drink. But brilliant guest. That is the if you want to buy me a coffee, support the channel. You know what I mean? I much appreciate that. Would anybody care to jump on and have a chat with Uncle Jim? You don't have to, but Matt is a brilliant lad. He works on many levels. He's a brilliant creative designer. Matt designed all the thumbnails for the podcasts, so he's a good lad. To be fair, I'll have to get that fucking logo out of my face. How are you all? Did you enjoy Matt? But click on the link. Even if you're not going to buy the book, John Hulton can fuck off with his fucking shit jokes. No, it's young Taylor.
Sorry about that.
Don't apologise. Welcome. I feel like I'm on Raconteur's News.
Yeah. Glad to know that I made you feel that way.
You're one of my favourite people on Raconteur's News. I always used to like demand in the chat area that you came on. So how are you doing, sir? What are you up to? I believe you've been banned off YouTube.
My my account was banned. My Timothy McPherson account, the one you see, that's my current account because it's not my real name. It's just it's a name referencing something from years ago, but it's not important. But basically, yeah.
I was thinking that was the Unibomber. Was Timothy McVeigh not the Unibomber? Was it someone else?
The Unibomber, what's that?
He blew loads of things up in America for 18 years. It was some famous kind of terrorist, Peter Boothroyd wants to come on. I'm not going to let him on. I'm protecting you, Nate. Boothroyd, if you try to be antagonistic, I'm looking after you, Nate. So what have you been up to, sir? Just chilling?
Yeah, mostly just chilling, to be honest, just getting by. Things been going on, but and some things I'd rather not say on air.
No worries. No worries. Let me see what this fella has to say for himself. If he's abusive, I'll throw him off. Hello, Peter Boothroyd.
Hello, it's Ted Kaczynski, isn't it? That's who you're thinking of.
Yeah, I was watching kind of a bit of a Netflix thing at midnight about him, but I didn't watch much because I went to bed. How are you, Peter?
I'm good, thank you. That was an interesting interview with Matt.
Yeah, Matt's a good lad, but a very interesting man. Works on many levels. But so Uni, have you actually lost your channel?
Yeah. I lost my channel. It's
well, I want to support you. Can everybody? What's your channel? What's your current name now on here?
The one you saw in the chats, the Timothy.
Okay, how can I get that? Can you follow Timothy McPherson? Let's try and get you some followers. I'm just going to try and follow you. I bet is there quite a few Timothy McPhersons on there?
Yeah. The only way for you to do that would probably be I'm going to have to actually link the channel itself, but I can't post links in the chat because I'm not a moderator. So the only thing
I'll tell you what. While you're building your channel up, I'm going to make you a moderator so you do that. You know. I've just made you a mod now, so basically you're in a position to. Everybody follow Uni. Please help Uni build his channel up again. All right, you've sent me the link there, haven't you?
Yeah.
I'll do it anyway.
Yeah, so you can post it in the private public channel.
Please, can you subscribe to Uni? Help him build his channel up again. So Peter Boothroyd, did you enjoy that? Firstly, did you enjoy your stolen curry from M&S? And did you enjoy Matt's interview?
Yes, I enjoyed it. It was a good interview. I was eating my coconut curry that I got from Marks and Spencer's.
Will you be purchasing Matt's book?
Yes, I will. I'll click on the link and have a look at it. And he's He's clearly very knowledgeable and intelligent, and he speaks well. He looks good.
He's a good lad, but
very knowledgeable and.
Let me just. Sorry, go on.
I'll buy the book.
Cool. Let me just ask everybody in chat: is anybody else interested in buying Matt's book? Any of you lot in the chat section, would you be interested in reading that book? The Behind Jim Dawes boot. I can't fucking speak properly anymore. I'm saying boot. So Taylor, I'm sorry you've lost your channel. I've got you one more subscriber anyway. Please, can you subscribe to Taylor's channel? Let's try and get him. Let's try and help his new channel get off the ground. You're always welcome on this channel, Taylor. I've been a fan of yours for a while. So, is there anything you'd like to talk about that doesn't involve Jews?
Yeah, I wasn't planning to talk about that right now anyway, considering how.
Muggos, subscribe to your channel. What's going on with you? Just not much at the moment. Just winding down for Christmas.
Oh well, Christmas doesn't really mean much to me personally, but
it's a lot of fucking shit. It's you're quite a knowledgeable man. Is Christmas like a satanic kind of pagan festival?
Well, I've talked to a lot of people in the Christian church, and as well as just Christians in general, whether it be Orthodoxy or whatever, evangelists, and I've heard a lot of mixed feelings. I'm personally going to say it depends on which version of Christmas you're talking about. Like, for example, if you're talking about obviously the current day Christmas, which is just all about spending a lot of moolah and just going out and getting drunk and promoting some fat man coming down your chimney to sneak up on a bunch of kids kind of thing. Yeah, that's obviously paganism. But I would say that the idea of Christmas itself, is more of a Christian-based holiday, which a lot of holidays are. Easter is, etc. But the thing is when it comes down to it, a lot of traditions that we know of that we celebrate, so most people celebrate in the modern world, are they're very paganized. Some of them are pagan to begin with. Many of them are. But many of them are also just started off with good intentions, but then celebrating whatever, and then they just became paganized. It's usually how it goes. For example, I mean, I'm pretty sure this one is obvious. The 4th of July is, I mean, it's not really that's not really a religious holiday, but I'm just going to use it as an example because everyone just uses that as an example of celebrating, independence and all that nonsense. But of course, we've never really became independent from anybody.
Well, do you know what? Easter originally was the worship of the goddess Ishtar, and it was a fertility festival with loads of fucking and sex orgies. No, it's just giving kids chocolate eggs. I would have preferred the original pagan fertility rite of just having random sex everywhere kind of thing. You know what I mean? Not with rabbits or anything like that, but no, it's just giving people fucking chocolate eggs.
They've put them out in the shop now already.
Well, Margo UK, if you don't have a chimney, he stands naked in your front yard waving his sack. I was that Jimmy. I'm very often naked around the countryside. You've seen that. I'm not afraid of going naked. I will not be going naked tonight. So, Peter, have you any New Year's plans?
Yeah, I've got loads of plans. I'm leaving the country. I'm going to buy a house abroad.
We're in France?
No, not France. It's not. No.
Why don't you go to Thailand with Steve Beatty?
No, it'll be within Europe, and I would never move to Thailand. And I'm not going to talk about it because I don't want to ruin your stream.
Okay, right, yeah, I get where you'd be going, kind of thing. I'm just trying to keep things. People know your stance on things, Peter. So have you any New Year's plans, uni, or just a quiet one?
Just New Year's, just another day to me. It's just another day. Things go on. Things go on.
That's all it is, sir. That's all it is. Peter, what have you been up to apart from stealing fucking oven-ready meals or microwave meals?
I've been sleeping and coming to work. I've been working every day for the last 2 weeks.
Why have I just highlighted that? I'm trying to block this fella. Cock Easter egg, says Ian Frost. A bit shit that Ian, to be fair. It's not that funny. But there you go.
What are you doing on New Year's Eve?
I'm staying in. I'm gonna do a live stream tomorrow night on New Year's Eve, 10 till 1. So if any of you want to jump on, but Luke, I'm not using PayPal anymore. A lot of you buy me a coffee for donating. I'm not here for the good of my fucking health, to be honest with you. But if you want to donate to the channel, there is the buy me a coffee link. Could someone at least test it with a penny to see if it works? I want to see if this link works. So if anybody could just test it with a nominal amount, I just want to see if we can get something through, just to see if it works. It's a new thing, nothing as yet, but it's early days. And Mahatma Malevolence Independence is a grant from the Crown. I don't know what this is all about. Independence is a grant from the Crown Inc. The US is still under the Crown. We don't care really. Health and Freedom UK. Has Peter got lots of money to buy a house? Then Robert, jump on. Robert, keep me company. Yeah.
Has Peter got lots of money to buy a house then? Let's see. Why do you want to know? All these status anxious people always asking me about money so they can decide how they want to treat you. I've got plenty of money.
No, it's not really that. He's only asking about your current. Man, it was a bit of a personal question.
I've never asked anyone that. I don't know. It's cheap. I can buy a house abroad because it's cheap. It's much cheaper than Morecambe. I could never afford to buy a house in Morecambe.
But I've got some quality street here on the good side of things. So.
Health and Freedom. No, I didn't know that was you. You're Dr. Robert. Isn't it? I didn't know.
Robert, come on.
I thought it was someone else.
Nicole, can you not do a uni bashing, please? I'm looking after uni. Uni, I've adopted you. You're welcome. I'm not trying to steal you from raconteurs.
No, I'm pretty much due to various circumstances. It doesn't really look like that. Me and raconteurs will be able to be much of associated with anymore. It doesn't really look like it. I mean, that's up to Jason. It's up to Jason and them to decide. But just from my perspective, it doesn't really look like that it's going through much anymore.
You're welcome here. This is my home for it. I'm not trying to steal you off raconteurs. This is my home for waifs and strays, and you're one of us now. I've adopted you. It's official.
Well, thank you. I don't know if I don't know if I'm a good person to adopt, especially considering the things that I talk about, but in my views on certain things. But you know, if you're willing to have me, I appreciate that.
Don't worry about that. We've got Peter Boothroyd, who's you're in good company. Peter Boothroyd's a neo-Nazi. We've got Martin Redding, who is a borderline sex offender. His name is actually the Bug-Eyed Nonce. We've got Dr. Robert, who sells illegal potions to people. We've got I'm trying to think who else we've got, and this plethora of fucking wrong-uns. You know, we've got Ian Frost, who's a wrong one. John Ulton, who's I don't know what to say about him really. All of them, they're all they just. If you were to shout wrong at them all, they'd all have to turn around because it's just full of society's detritus, really. But as long as they keep donating, I'll take the money all day long, you know. But
and just WhatsApp you, Jimmy. Did you get the picture I just sent?
No, because I turn my phone off now during live streams. I don't look at my phone on during live streams. So I have so I'm concentrating solely on you lot because I love you all.
That's a good thing.
Tracy says check the coffee thing. Let's see if it works, Tracy.
Yeah, it's a good thing to concentrate, especially since there's too many idiots on them who, you know, even if they're sitting on a table talking to someone, looking like they're talking to someone, no, they're actually on their phone going and just typing on Instagram or Facebook. It's so disgusting.
Shout out
to New Year's resolution, Jimmy.
I'll tell you to get more donations for this channel. Shout out to Ailey Barr and Tracy Nicklin, who's just bought me a coffee. Ailey Barr, come in with a round of applause, please, for Tracy and Ailey Barr. Haley is the first one to buy. Haley is the first one to buy a coffee. Tracy the second. Thank you very much. My New Year's resolution, Peter. Seriously, to communicate better with myself and not put myself down as much, because how we speak to ourselves is massively important. And as I've got older, I've become very, very negative. In the last few years, I've become so cynical and negative, and what you kind of end up with is this self-fulfilling prophecy. You start cursing yourself, basically, and you start thinking, well, I knew that wouldn't happen. Well, is that by you saying I knew that wouldn't happen? Is that not like you kind of manifesting shit? Well, the old kind of along the lines of affirmation, law of attraction. Just try and rewire my brain. Over to you, Peter. What's yours?
I haven't thought about it. I guess try to be healthier. I guess simple. Eat healthier, exercise more, save up.
Are you going to be shoplifting like more healthier options?
Yeah, I might do that. I might shoplift like microwave veg and stuff like that rather than the the ready meals. It's great. It's great when you can just walk in the shop and take stuff and walk out and no one cares. You just feel it's like, this is great. I can take anything. No one's going to say anything. It's I do it from two shops. I go to Tesco and then I walk over to Marks and Spencer's. So I get my sort of branded drinks from Tesco and then I go to Marks and Spencer's and get the ready meals. It's fantastic. And a banana. I got a banana today.
So what do you think your calorific intake of today was?
I need to start thinking about that. Yeah.
You're not fat though, are you?
No, I put on a little bit of weight when I lived in Morecambe and I was sat in that caravan. When I first started watching your streams, I was ordering fish and chips in every night with my furlough money because obviously everything was shut down. I would just get the same really good chippy in Morecambe that I recommended to you, and then you went, didn't you?
Yeah, it was very expensive though, the Atkinson's chipper. But anybody, it's Friday night, you miserable fucking cunts. Would anybody occur to join us on a stream?
I missed that. I missed Morecambe. That is a good chippy though. We always had a huge queue outside.
Fucking deer. It's a fucking deer chip shop, and you also the deer chip shop, and the staff are a bit stuck up.
Yeah, maybe it is expensive. Yeah, fish and chips is expensive everywhere though now, isn't it?
The world.
What isn't expensive these days?
Yeah.
How's life in America? How's life in America, Taylor?
It's probably it's honestly America. Let's be honest here, is falling apart, and who knows how much longer it's going to last, both financially and socially. Like it's definitely dead spiritually, but that's another story. Who knows? But as far as the news just keeps popping up the same January 6th Trump nonsense. It's just the same old BS. As far as everything else goes, like
where do you live in America?
Washington State, not in Seattle, but near Seattle.
Okay, it's far away.
Yeah, a lot of people get it confused. They think that when I say Washington, they think DC, and which honestly, fair enough. That is the one most people think of, but there's two Washingtons.
Yeah.
Do you think America's fair? Richie, I'll let you on in a bit, mate. I just want to have a bit of a conflab with Taylor. Do you think America is far away from a cashless society?
That's a bit tricky. Depends on what you mean by cashless. Like, are you talking about
the complete abolition of cash in place of like some digital governmental backed cryptocurrency?
I would say we're getting there. I mean, a lot of places don't accept cash anymore, and even the places that do, because personally, if I go to Walmart or Safeway or whatever, you're still allowed to use cash, but you'll or at the dollar store or whatever, for example, you'll have like a little sign on like the cash register, not on the cash register. There's like a little plastic window in between you and the person at the cash register. I don't know why. I assume it has to do with COVID related things, but whatever. So essentially, there's like things that say, oh, coin shortages, please give us exact amounts, and don't give us this specific kind of money, like don't give us $100 bills or whatever. Yeah. And in a lot of places, even if you can give money, a lot of people I see don't. They just use credit cards that kind of stuff. But yes, that's mainly what it is. Yeah, you can still use money, but it feels like that it feels less like you're not allowed to use it, and more like people just choose not to for convenience.
Because using money becomes stigmatized now, like you're a drug dealer or something if you have cash or something. Or a criminal. It's they started making you feel like a criminal.
I wouldn't say that, at least not personally. I mean, maybe for other people, but for me personally, in my experience, it just feels like it's just like a lot of people just use credit cards. I mean, personally, I use Cash App, but a lot of people just use digital like credit cards and stuff because it's just a lot more convenience and such. Or at least that's how I assume that's the reason that people do. Obviously, I can't speak for anyone else, but most people, they use credit cards, or if they'll use cash, it's not as often. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you. It's very interesting how the world's going, kind of thing, But do you know that Cash App is owned by George Soros?
Is it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Cash App is a Soros thing, and he's behind Visa, isn't he?
That I would like to learn more of. That's something I do not know about. This is my first time hearing about that.
Because people were slagging Joe Rogan off because they said he was promoting Cash App, and they were saying Cash App is a Soros thing. It's cashless, isn't it? So it's just another kind of PayPal thing to. If you have too much cash, it can make authorities suspicious.
Yeah. Oh, I want to answer this question from Just Bob. What's Taylor's thoughts on Trump for re-election? Oh my God, that shit was so funny. The reaction online to that was hilarious. Nobody gives a single damn about that man anymore. It's so fun, except for the mainstream media, obviously.
Really, yeah. As Trump, like, has he gone, Trump?
Oh no, he's not gone. He said he announced he's running for 2024, which is hilarious because, as I said, nobody cares about him anymore. I mean, he's let everyone down. He abandoned his followers on January 6th. He's still in that speech where he's like, I'm gonna run in 2024. He never mentioned his followers that are still stuck in jail unlawfully, stuck in jail in hellish conditions. He never talked about them, and he never brings it up. He doesn't give a damn about his followers.
Why are his followers in jail?
Well, January 6th, the whole they're a threat to democracy. They attacked the Capitol, all that BS. A lot of the people that went to the Capitol are still in jail to this day. It's kind of like the Canadian trucker thing almost, except
were they real Trumpers, or were they not like kind of? I believe some were actors with them.
There were some actors in there, absolutely. Your Antifas, your BLMs, that kind of thing. Yeah, you had some of those, but I've looked into it January 6th a bit, and I would say that the majority of the people that went there, obviously they were let into the building, the Nancy Pelosi's flag and all that stuff. I've spoken to a few of the people who were who went to the Capitol on January 6th, and none of them were advocating violence. In fact, they were against using violence of any kind. And the thing is that they talk about this January 6th attack on the Capitol thing, but just a few years before, there was a huge siege on the Capitol that the media, of course, never talks about, where it actually did result in a lot of destruction and such, from terrorists. But we never talk about that, of course. It's only about January 6th because, it happens to be about going against the liberal global homo world order that the Democrats are trying to bring in, and the Republicans as well. But the Democrats are a lot more open about it.
Martin Redding keeps his cash in his cupboard. So if anybody's thinking of breaking into Martin Redding's Hastings flat, there'll be £3.50 in a biscuit tin in his cupboard. Martin, do you want to jump on? Peter has strangely vanished.
No, I'm here. I'm listening.
Because I would like to go make myself a cup of tea, but with fucking Taylor and fucking Peter Booth right on screen, I feel like a teacher in a nursery, and I don't want to leave Peter and uni.
No, I won't say anything. I'm going to the loo anyway.
Yeah, I gotta go to the bathroom actually. So, is that all right?
That's kind of interesting. How you both kind of like synchronize your urinating or toilet time.
I've been holding it in. It's just that I've been.
You go to the toilet. Don't hold things in for me.
Sorry, it's just that I didn't want to be one of those guys because Jason got on me about this a lot of times. Like, don't fucking go for a piss and shit on stream.
No, you're fine.
Thank you.
The rules are different here. But you go to the toilet and enjoy it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Good evening, Richie Smith. Good evening, Richie Smith. Good evening, Richie Smith.
Speaking.
Is that
1,
your
2, 3 to Jimmy O.
Is that your woman?
That's my daughter.
It's Scotland. It's the same thing, isn't it?
Well, yeah, you're right enough, Jimmy. I know what you mean about interfering is matters.
I'm only joking. Hello.
I'm being serious. I'm not joking. I'm being serious.
Hello, Richie Smith's daughter. Hello. Are you doing?
Other people want to get your hands down, man. They're not being embarrassed. Show Jimmy.
Hey, you know what? She's a bonny girl. Does she take after her mother?
A bonny. She takes after her mother, yeah.
How many more
I'm
kids?
too good looking, Jimmy, for her.
Well, you know what? Are you going to take your daughter to the pub then?
I want to take her to the strippers night.
Is she old enough to drink?
She's old enough to drink. She fucking drinks. Look how much she's got in her. She's drinking a pitch fucking glass, Jimmy. Look at her. I'm drinking nips.
Is it your? Did you say it's your birthday or is it your daughter's birthday?
No, I'm just taking her out because it's Christmas.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
I
Yeah,
just have a jump on and let the show go. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's nice. It's nice to hear from you.
Nice to be nice. Nice to be nice.
I wasn't being funny earlier, letting you on, but delaying letting you on. It was just kind of it was in the middle of something.
I never got Jimmy. I wasn't for me at all. You like I was getting. I'm gonna pull Doc Rich up. Now he told me that I was getting oil sent to me, right? I went some sent to me, right? But the only problem is, it was for Rich T.
Oh yeah, Rich T. Oh, what you've had some oil sent to you?
Yeah, but Rich T's getting.
What
He ordered it.
what he ordered? The oil was ordered by
He
Rich
ordered
T.
it in Doc. Pizza's finished. I bought on me. I do. Cheers. Look, Jimmy.
Well, see you later, mate.
Say hi to Jimmy Osho.
Hello, love. You alright?
Yeah, Jimmy, man, I'm getting more and more people to your show.
Thank you very much.
Some fucking Aberdeen split fucking working for fucking money.
Fair play. You have a good night, Richie, mate.
Nah, I'm gonna have a good night, Jimmy. Don't worry, it's just started.
The night is young yet.
She's young. She's young. I'm a night.
Fair play to you. Fair play to you. I've got a bad chest, but I'll be alright. But yeah.
Pierre, I hope you're not looking at my fucking door.
No, I wasn't looking at your daughter.
No, I'm saying Peter. Peter.
Oh, right. Well,
If that AJ being on a show the other night, I'm thinking I've been looking at my door. So
Peter will be looking. Peter will be asking for her Instagram.
She's got Instagram. So she Pierre, she's got Instagram.
He's here. He's here.
Ah, the one and only Martin Redding.
Thank you. Yes.
Merry Christmas, Martin.
And Merry Christmas, and it'll soon be a Happy New Year.
What happened there?
How is everybody? Martin Redding, have you enjoyed the stream tonight?
It's Martin.
I thought the guest was excellent. I thought that it was brilliant because not only did you have obviously all the knowledge, but he wasn't pretentious, didn't take himself too seriously, spoke in our language. I was having to watch it in between being with people watching football, and I still got like 90% of the gist of it. It was brilliant. I thought it was great.
Brilliant. It's nice for you to jump on. I wasn't expecting for you to jump on.
Yeah, come on.
No.
Don't look at my fucking door and think I'm fucking trying.
I'm back home now, Jim, and all is fine.
Brilliant. Well, just please stay. Are you staying on, or are you just hopping on?
No. I thought I'd come on, and I've, as you know personally, I've had my two of my children and a girlfriend not really staying here. They kind of stayed at my sister's house because she has a 7-bedroom
It's
toilet.
not my girlfriend, it's my daughter.
No, Richie, there's a lot of background noise where you are, so I'll put you back on in a bit. Okay, mate. There was a lot of background noise then. I couldn't. Oh yeah,
I think maybe Richie had his YouTube on still. I'm not sure. Anyway, Jim, I felt very sentimental last night. I made one of those big mistakes. I think you were one of the recipients of like telling everyone, I was like sad and lonely. I made the massive mistake of messaging my boy's mum. We haven't been together for like 10 years, and telling her, no, oh, I love you, it's all my fault, and all the rest of it. I sent her like paragraphs of text like you do when you've had too many sherries. And I looked at it all today. I'm not really embarrassed by it because it's kind of the truth, but it's funny.
Well, fair play to you. It's always nice to have you on. Do you think you'll be purchasing Matt's book, or it's not something that you?
I think I will. I think I will do. I sent a message to my eldest son Matthew, and because he's becoming a bit. It's really weird. he's gone to university, and I want to buck the trend, people. So everyone thinks, oh, people go to university. So my son Matthew, he's got like very, very left-leaning mum, guardian veggie. I've been a bit the same until last few years, and he's gone to universities. He's Surrey University, Guildford, studying law, and he's become such a like alt-right kind of commentator. Andrew Tate is one of his big G's, and all the rest of it. And it's really funny because people think you go to university and you become this kind of like lefty cultural Marxist, and the exact opposite has happened with my son. Although my other son's girlfriend, like, she has gone down the normal trail. She's extremely clever and smart, but she just swallowed the whole hook, line, and sinker, the whole kind of wokey agenda. And so having them two like arguing, before in the coffee shop and in the pub before we went to cinema the other day was all good fun.
You don't want a right-wing girlfriend.
Peter, don't talk over Martin. You should know better now.
They're always pasty and sort of fat.
Sorry, Peter, you don't want a lefty girlfriend or a right-wing girlfriend?
A right-wing girlfriend.
No. So then what it is, Peter, is, so my eldest son, he's the one who's gone like very right, but my other son, his girlfriend, she's the exact opposite. So they were there was no holds barred arguing, between them, because it's not like he's trying to shut himself up and to impress her. It's not his girlfriend. So it was just really good fun for me as a dad to kind of be egging them on,
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, it was good. It's great. We went to see the new Avatar film, Jesus Christ. It looks brilliant, but it was like 3 and a bit hours. At one stage, I did that thing where where you quite nod off. I literally lurched forward and caught myself. One of the great things that happened during the film was a lot of kids were being Larry and mouthing off, and the magic came in, and everyone started clapping and said, "Get them out." He made them go, which was funny. Visually, an amazing film. Absolutely no plot apart from the revenge, and it should have been about 2 hours and not as good as the first one. But it was a shitty day on Wednesday. I don't know about how it was up in north of England, but we couldn't go for a coastal walk, so we went to the cinema and spent half the day in a pub and coffee places. But,
nothing wrong with that. Anybody who's interested in buying Matt's book, I'm not ending the stream now. I'm going to make a cup of coffee. Anyone who's interested in buying Matt's book Behind Gym Doors, there is a link underneath this video.
Yeah,
Jim. Peter, stop talking over people. You should know better now. You've been on this stream for we need the ebb and flow. You're experienced. You're a broadcaster, you're a musician. You should know the ebb and flow of rhythm.
I'm not a broadcaster.
Well, basically, the link on Matt's book.
So Jim, I looked up on the internet, and he's got he's got a proper website about the book, separate from his other site, and so I actually posted that into the chat earlier on. It looks really interesting, and it's the kind of guy that you would take the advice from.
Coffee. You and Peter talk while I make a coffee.
Yeah. I mean, fuck yeah, exactly. I mean, he's not dodgy, is he? Like Dr. Robert, That's a joke. Solve. And it was interesting to hear that he actually, admitted that a lot of these people, they do take shortcuts, and they are using, testosterone or testosterone boosters, and different types of steroids and all that kind of stuff. And it's when you see athletes, when they have so-called retired, and you see them now afterwards, and you realize the incredibly restrictive diets that they're living on. It's like when I watch football, it's like all the footballers I see, they're in their 20s, prime of life, and a lot of them, they literally look like modern day jockeys, because they are half starved on restrictive diets, and they look older. You know, they have severe faces. You know, and it's probably accentuated by haircuts and stuff. But you know, footballers used to just look like normal people. They also used to live like normal people's lives, so slightly better. You know, if you're taking home 200 quid a week, footballer might be taking home 600. You know, and they're just like a different species. You know, even the managers are starting to become like that. Really, they all have perfect teeth, and hair transplants, and you know, six packs.
Yeah, in the Premier League, and even in the sort of England, they're not really the same as they used to be. They're not. They're different. Jimmy's back. They're not.
I'm just looking.
They're foreign, aren't they? I don't know,
It's okay. It's okay, Jim. No, we can carry this on. We can talk about sports and nutrition, six packs, diets, and low carb all night.
Also says Tate's a red pill dude who has some good points and also a few bad ones. What are these good points that Andrew Tate has? I'm not really sure. What's he saying?
Well, what he does, he makes commentary. So the things that my son Matthew has sent me, both from him and Tristram, his brother, he will make TikTok videos, and you know, or they will edit things he said. And yes, like all populist kind of people, you can find stuff you agree with, but he's trying to create an edge all the time, trying to wind people up, being deliberately, you know, like trying to own the word misogynist, and so it's trying to create that. He's not really helping, really. It's a bit like us on here, like joshing, me having a little dig at you, or me like winding up Dr. Rob or something, or saying something silly. It's all that kind of. I think it's all done with a business mind, to be honest, rather than in good taste. I don't trust him at all.
Yeah, I mean, you can't trust him because he's on Piers Morgan. He's in the mainstream, so he's allowed to exist. You know, and he's pardon.
Good point.
He's very boastful, and it's that whole thing. He distrusts me in a way. He's just like this.
I mean, it's like
he represents that whole boastful, materialistic, hedonistic way of that gay lifestyle that I always talk about, of just gallivanting and sleeping with random women and kicking them out and then finding another one and stuff. And then
so Peter, it's like he presents himself as the ultimate hetero, but in a way it is the gay lifestyle, isn't it? You know, hedonistic, you know, this is all I want is cars, fucks and girls, you know, have a good time. I want to kind of show my shaved body off, how I look at the gym, you know. It's like he's a gay lord. He's a gay lord who likes women, you know what I mean?
Let me just answer this. Jimmy, have you any plans for the New Year's Eve stream? Yes, Bob, I would like to rinse you all of more donations. That's the only plan I have. But basically, that's it, Bob. But Andrew Tate, do you think Andrew Tate's controlled opposition? Do you think there's an intelligence agency funding him?
He might not eat a cock ice cream, but he'd eat it like.
He seems to be divisive in the fact that all of a sudden he's come out. He has a lot of young males who follow him, but all of a sudden he's turned to Islam. I just think there's something very divisive about it.
He never talks about
yeah. I've got a question for Dr. Robert in the chat. Would rubbing salve cure my gayness?
As Jason said in the show, was anybody? Robert, would you like to send us? Robert, send me. I can't fucking speak. My voice is gone. Robert, send us the Shopify link for yourself.
Yeah.
Robert, send us the link for yourself.
But what I want to know is, I know that it will give me insight and confidence and improve my life in all sorts of ways. but does it cure gayness?
Peter, where the fuck are you?
It's not me making that noise, is it? I'm just sat in my office eating my second microwave meal.
Is it you, Martin? Is it people behind you shouting at the telly?
No, I'm back home. I'm in my cupboard.
It's got to be
No
you.
one here.
It might be me because my little brother's in the room next to me, and the walls are very thin, and he's being a fucking idiot. So.
All right, I just wondered what it was then.
Sorry, I can mute my mic if you want.
No, do we need to phone the police? Is there anything going on, or is it just him shouting at the television?
It's just him probably talking to his girlfriend on his phone.
Well, we're just all jealous. We're all jealous because we've not got girlfriends. I think that's the main reason we're all angry. But perhaps Dr. Robert Salve could cure our incel behaviour or lifestyle. Can Dr. Robert, send me the link you come to your fucking Salve.
So Jim, I've had an answer, and apparently it does. It stops you. So Dr. Robert Salve will stop you lusting after cock ice cream. It's confirmed it. So that is cool.
I would eat a cock ice cream. Would you not? Would you eat a cock ice cream, Martin?
You should make a video of you going to Manchester and get one on it.
I'd do it naked. I'd take her in the countryside in a freezer box, and just and put that fucking Sage was it Serge Gainsborough?
The thing is, I mean, Serge Gainsborough was able to attract some very saucy girls, mostly half his age. So I think Serge Gainsborough was an early user of perhaps a prototype of Dr. Rob Salve, because it certainly did a lot for his libido.
What was that fucking song called?
Je t'aime, wasn't it? Je t'aime. Je t'aime.
You should make a video because like Barry Tickler and Mr. H made their pie tasting videos and they got loads of views. You should sit in a van, get a cock ice cream, and do like a little review of it. You'll get 100,000 views.
Oh boy.
Peter Boy. Fucking hell. What's my life become? I had promised one. And Peter Boothroyd could be in the video looking disgusted from afar.
I literally had to open a new tab then, and I couldn't watch that. I had to open another tab because I'm eating. I couldn't look at you.
I think that's probably ultimately what happens, though, to a lot of people who become like these fitness freaks and gym buffs. They kind of end up like loving themselves, and you get to they probably get to a certain point. I'm not saying I've been there, well, not recently anyway, where you just end up like admiring a six pack and like your engorged knob and sort of wank off into a fucking like dressing mirror. I think that's what a lot of these people are all about.
We've all done that though, Martin. You don't need to be a fitness freak to do that.
Oh, by the way, speaking of fitness, I gotta ask if anyone who's into fitness and stuff, what do you guys think of Arnold Schwarzenegger's Pumping Iron doc from like
a masterpiece of a film without any?
I've not seen it. Pumping
Iron is without doubt the best film he did. It's just a gritty documentary about bodybuilding filmed in 1977. I can't forget who filmed it, but it's just following Arnold Schwarzenegger in his last bodybuilding contest, and he's fantastic, and it's better than any crap film he made. But his career was shit, really. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to watch Schwarzenegger, and I was spellbound by it. And you watch it as an adult, and you think, "What the fuck is this? It's crap. It's aged. It's very dated. It's very of the 80s, of its time." But I can't think of anything great he did. You know, but swat the pumping.
I like that one where he was on Mars, Jim. You know, the one where there's another adaptation of a Philip Dick novel, and he was like on Mars. I like that one. I can't remember what it's called now. But
you know what? You were whether you like it or not, Martin. You are a resident poet laureate. Was Philip K. Dick a wizard?
No, yes, he was. He wrote lots of his books on it. I mean, it's he was. I was literally. I know they call them dickheads. I didn't really like that thing, but I was a Philip K. Dick fanatic when I was like teenager in my 20s. I've just read all the books and everything. I was just blown away by the man. I can't really read it now. It's like a stage you go through when I was like anally retentive and had to read, you know, buying comics and science fiction and everything. It's a phase I've long passed through. But yeah, he's amazing. He really was.
You know what? I'm trying to read Think and Grow Rich now, and it's about kind of visualization and manifestation, and how you one of the principles of it is how you communicate with yourself. I think there's quite a few of us on this channel who should really assess how we speak to ourselves. And you like me, Martin, are terrible for putting yourself down in every way, shape, and form.
Well, that's how I deal with things, you know. It's like
no, but do you not think
how I am, and how I am, and what I was, and what I could be.
I'd like to change that.
It's just the truth, Jim. You know.
Is it really though?
Yes. I don't really have anything to say.
If you shit, why does everybody on this channel really like you?
I've probably found my kind of niche, you know. I think there's a mixture of like mixture of hope and pity. That's what I inspire in people.
You like Kenneth Williams on ESA?
I am, Jim. Yes. If only I could afford the money to go to Casablanca like he did, and Michel. And like Michel Foucault, you know.
What did that fucking Kenneth Williams used to go to Morocco for young boys?
Yes, as did fucking fuck you, you know.
You did that. Was that booth ride?
Shit, I thought I was on mute.
Yeah, well, I'm just joking. I prefer grannies with no shoes. I find in the woods.
You are on mute now, Peter Boothroyd. I'm not having that kind of vile behaviour on my live stream. It's fucking great. But tonight's live stream, everybody. I had Matt. I can't get my fucking words out. Matt Hodges on Hofer, and author of Behind Gym Doors. The link is below. Is that the wrong link I've put, Matt? Do I need to put a better link?
I don't know, but if people go on Google him, you'll come up across a couple of other Matt Hodges musicians people. Just go Matt Hodges the author, and you'll get his site for the book. It's really good. I just liked his personality, the way he wasn't up himself, and you know, I thought it was really good. I had no idea you were doing that one tonight, Jim. And I thought it was, I enjoyed it a lot. Even though I'm probably gonna have to rewatch it because I was kind of watching football at the time and sneaking at my phone. But yeah, I loved it.
Bob, your comment then was a bit disgusting, to be honest with you. I'm not appreciating that comment you put in the chat. Not for any other reason that it's a vile image. I'm sorry about that, Bob. But I didn't.
We all have the things which we all have like those situations or comments or jokes which are just not for us. We turn our nose up. It doesn't mean that it's like you're depreciating someone else's sense of humor or saying you're better than them. You know, it's just kind of, if it's not for you, you know.
Oh, but it's back. Are you back?
Yeah, sorry about that. That was
all right. Did you do it on purpose?
No, I didn't. I thought I was on mute. I've never done anything like that before. I wouldn't do that. Sorry.
Oh yeah. So someone's just said, actually, I'm just having a look at the comments. Yeah, it was Total Recall. That was the film, wasn't it? With the one I liked with Arnold Schwarzenegger. That was good. I like that one.
Martin, do you have Amazon? An Amazon Fire Stick? Or are you old school with just a TV?
I have have a smart TV, Jim, and so it's all on my TV.
What can you watch on it? Can you watch Amazon programs?
Yeah, I've got them all at the moment. Some of them I've got them on trial, so I've got fucking Netflix, Disney, Amazon,
You
Apple.
know what's a good thing to watch? The Boys. Are you familiar with that series?
Yeah, it's my son. Yeah, I mean, I got Amazon to watch the football over Christmas, and I'm on a freebie until the end of the month. I'm on a freebie with YouTube as well. I keep on like changing my. If I do a different account, they give me like that, the $11.99 thing free where you get no adverts, which is great. Listen to my music and stuff. I've got Netflix, but hardly watch it. It's really funny. I went for years, probably like you, without watching TV at all. And as I became more housebound and depressive, it's like easy to kind of just get on the sofa under a blanket and watch stuff. Yeah, I need to get a life, really.
Well, you know what? I'm watching. What are you watching?
I need to read more.
Taylor, what are you watching? Are you watching anything on the television at the moment? How do you fill your hours?
Well, I just wanted to say, don't worry, Martin and Jimmy and James and everyone else, because I guarantee that none of you are anywhere near as depressing as I am, and I don't say, and I'm not saying.
I'm here to change your life, basically. I'm going to sort your head out. I'm not here to send you up. I use you as a foil, basically. I'm here to transform your life with magic. Which we shall all alchemically transmute across the transatlantic ocean, including Martin Redding, who's a soothsayer and bad.
I can. It's really funny. It's calming people down, and it's just sometimes you can with the right people. It just doesn't work with everybody. I've got people. It's like you. I referred to you as a non-Nazi priest because you're very good at listening to me. I talk too much, but certain people I am able to listen to and calm down. Others, I just want to talk at them. I don't know. So it's finding the right people. I worked in mental health peer support in the past. Before COVID happened, I was about to embark on a employment with a charity called the Richmond Fellowship, and they were very good at pairing off the support workers with just the right kind of person that they were assigned to help, and it was kind of good. It doesn't work for everybody, and you can't tell people who are suffering that they are actually insufferable to you. You can't do that. So it's a lot of tongue biting sometimes.
You're in the right place, though. But Taylor, you're always welcome on this stream. If you're feeling lonely or you need to chat, we're always about. Basically.
Thank you.
I can't watch TV these days. I just end up flicking through it. I can't.
I need to ask you all something. Are you all on Telegram?
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm yet to explore Telegram.
I was wondering if we should create a WhatsApp group. I don't want to be part of it because I always ended up storming out of them and leaving because of my personality. I think there is an existing WhatsApp group with Margot and Ian Frost and Richie Smith. But I don't know. I don't want to be part of it for the main reason.
Thing is, Jim.
Jim.
There's a few people on here who I was in the early WhatsApp group, and I have people's numbers or stuff. There's a handful of people, less than a handful of people on here who I will occasionally WhatsApp message if I find something I think they might find interesting. Peter being one of them, you, a few other people, just one or two. And I think if anyone wants to talk to me on WhatsApp, then just contact Jim. He'll give you my number, and we can do that. I don't think we need to have a group because what happens in groups is certain people kind of tend to take over, become too assertive, and you don't want to upset them.
I just start posting porn and fucking retarded shit.
I love it when Martin. I love it when Martin WhatsApps me like late at night because I think it's going to be a girl, and I open it and it's Martin. And it's like a punch in the gut.
There's nothing worse than that. When you get talking to a girl and she's not a messenger, and then you expect a message from her, and then it's some fucking bellend. No. I
mean, it was a couple of nights ago, and Peter was trying to play the piano and being frisky and stuff like that, expecting a call from one of his chicks, and I messaged him saying, I'm really upset about my stepson who died several years ago, and oh, by the way, I've just started watching that Beatles documentary. It's pretty good. How you doing, man? Like that. And Peter's expecting some sort of naked picture from some fucking Ukrainian bird.
Yeah, I bet Peter enraged threw his microwave stolen dinner across the room and it splattered all over the mannequin. Like in a Pink Floyd kind of as Bring the Boys Back Home played very loudly in the background by Pink Floyd.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, Martin, it's a pleasure to have you on. I know you don't you only like coming on once every fucking month. You always worry that you're coming on too often. People can't get enough of you. That's the point. If I thought like that, there'd never be any streams, would there? So you just fuck it. Just come on.
I wish the ladies of St Leonard's and Hastings felt the same. I've had a few nice encounters recently. I seem to get on with like the silverhead ladies, but I'm never.
You're up in your age range now to old people. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, just people who are just kind of like 10 years older than me, rather than 10 years older than me, rather than 20 years younger. You know?
I'm worried about this. You're going down the Stuart Pickard route now.
No, it's just
you're sleeping with 80-year-olds. Don't end up like him. He's a fucking weirdo.
No, it's not that.
Hello, it's me, Stuart. Take your clothes off. It's a hostage situation.
It has to be the right person, Jim, of whatever age. To me, like if you meet the right person and she's like 30 or whatever, or you meet the right person, she's 68 or whatever. It is what it is with the person. You know, it's like sex is not my main motive anymore. You know.
Need to get some testosterone shots.
Anybody? Ashwagandha is meant to be. It's shit though. It doesn't do much. Ashwagandha is meant to be to help you boost testosterone levels.
We were doing so. Me and my two sons and my youngest, his girlfriend. We were at this coffee place in sort of Hastings Old Town, if anyone knows it. And I was talking to them, and we were having that whole philosophical debate. Like, you know, if you one of the things in law, so they're all doing law. One of the things in law is that thing where some people like they were castaways on a boat, and they ate the cabin boy, and they got tried for murder. And so I did that whole old animal rights question. Like, so you're in a boat, and you've got like 3 people. One of them you really like, but who's quite old. One of them you really can't stand, but is young and, you know, well covered and tasty. And then you've got your cat, which you really love more than either of them. What would you do? Would you, kill the old person, young person who's got the nice lean meat, or your cat? Everyone went for the cat. Everyone said no. We saved the cat. That's the kind of cold.
I'd kill the young person, and depending on the sex and the age of her, I'd fiddle with her before she died in her head.
Yeah, exactly, because they would be the most nutritious and lean and tasty.
That was a joke, by the way, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, no, that's what basically, Jim. Everyone else, the 3 young people, they all said that. They said they would save the cat no way would they kill the cat. And although it was kind of questioned whether like the old person was going to die anyway, so you might as well, they're going to die soon anyway, so you might as well kill that.
All meat shit in it.
Yeah, but yeah, the meat wouldn't be too tasty, you know.
Well, you're going to be finding that very soon if you carry on with your fucking silver.
Well, I'm sure that one morning, if I do hit it off with, you know, silver-haired lady at a cafe, one of us is going to be waking up one morning to find the other one dead for a night's exertion.
You're making this worse for yourself, really. Every sentence. So you want to shag dead old people now, Martin? What's happened to you?
No, I don't, Jim. Don't twist my words. I want to meet and share my dying days with somebody who's lived life, and we can have a good conversation and talk and stuff. You know?
You know what? Are you going to come on the New Year's Eve live show tomorrow?
Yes, I've been invited somewhere to spend New Year's Eve.
That's a no then.
No, Jim. It's a yes because I don't want to go. I've already spent Christmas away. I've had 2 other nights away. I literally want to just curl up and watch you on my big smart TV.
You really need to get out more. But Peter, are you going to jump on tomorrow night?
Yes, I'll be here at work. So
Taylor, do you fancy jumping on tomorrow night?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Well, you'll be more than welcome, sir. This is your new home now. You know what?
It's cool.
We've run for 2.5 hours now, and I think we should cap this off now.
Good night, Jim. This was
before
good coda to the show.
Martin, did you want something to say? Have you got so many?
No, I just want to say this was a nice little kind of cozy, pleasant coda to the main part of your show. Great stuff. Thank you.
Don't forget the main reason for this stream tonight. Matt Hodges behind Jim doors. If you don't want to, just check the book out. If you unsure about buying it, check the book out. You know what I mean? I'm not on commission for this. I just want to. I believe in him. I want to support his project. Pete, have you anything to say that doesn't involve Islamism? And,
no, tell Matt Hodges to message me because he might be able to, if he wants to train me, add me to his sort of.
Matt Hodges is on Instagram. He's on my Instagram, Matt Hodges.
I don't know if anyone can read this before we say goodnight, but thinking of Peter, I've been given this mug saying I love my dad, and it says, I love my dad. He spends lots of time with me and takes me to get ice cream. How cute is that?
Cock ice cream.
No, not cock ice cream, just normal ice cream for respectable people who are not sexual degenerates, like Peter.
I like that. That's
my dad would never give me ice cream.
But anyway, never mind.
He'd give me the cone. He'd say, "Here's a cone. Eat the cone. Here's a box of ice cream cones."
Right, I'm off now. Please, if you want to buy Peter, it's just Batman does. That is the link. Please support the channel. You supporting the channel gives me the incentive to come on and do this. It's not easy. I've had to have 3 nights off because it's so fucking tiring. Anyway, that's the link there. If you want to support the channel, that's more than brilliant. Thank you to Nicola and Ailey Bar for doing that. Thank you, Uni. Thank you, Mr. Martin Redding. Forgot your name then. I don't know fucking why. The Alzheimer's. See you all tomorrow night. It might be 10 o'clock till 1 for the New Year's Eve special. Jump on and I'll see you tomorrow. And fuck you. Bye-bye.